You know the frequency. Come on. You know the frequency. Yeah, you know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy.
We off the grid.
Yes. We are back. For another episode of the Frequency Live. I am your host, B. Carter.
I'm your boy, Carry On, Broadway Joe.
Double D, Derek Demers.
And it's Jasmine.
And we are the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio, leading into vibrational experiences.
Yeah. What up, man? Feels like I haven't seen you in a minute.
I know, it's been a month. I miss you guys.
It's been 2 minutes.
Right? Man, traveling, though, is a beautiful thing.
That's right.
Who's been traveling?
Yeah, he's been going all over the place.
I went to see my dad and my parents.
Hey, leave my personal
We
business.
had the Super Bowl. So we've been having.
How was that?
Oh, it's great. It's sunny weather, 70 degrees.
Yeah, it's nice.
You're out of mass. I'll take it.
Yeah, all day.
Just for 4 days, it was perfect.
That was.
Hey, when I travel, that's 4 days is perfect for me.
Yeah, it's good. I want to get back home after that.
You're right.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Really? You want to get back home?
Well,
Nah, yeah, for me too. Like
unless
when
I'm on an island, I'm ready after 3 or 4 days.
yeah,
Just leave me there for a week or longer.
Derek, y'all just a nice guy.
Yeah, he is a nice guy.
You are a very nice guy.
He's like, I want to come home.
I'll be like,
Joe, what's going on, man?
Chilling, man. I can't complain, man. Another
Yo,
day.
how do we think about that Super Bowl? What do we think about that Super Bowl?
Oh man, I mean,
We're gonna get
a good
into it
game.
tonight. Don't spoil
No,
anything now.
It was a good
Ask
game.
Wrong questions at the wrong time.
But then I'm at the right questions at the right time, though.
Uh-huh.
It was a good game.
Okay. Was it the right question at the right time?
I think we got a good show tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, we have a great show. We have a great great show. We have a great guest. Might wanna call him like maybe a local legend. Is he reaching that status? I don't know.
Is he meeting that?
I mean, I think so. I mean, we're gonna go through what he's accomplished, but 30
Yeah.
years with the Patriots organization.
30 years with the Patriots in their prime years of their dynasty.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, like almost like 2 dynasties if you think of the longevity and the 6 Super Bowls. I mean,
2 dynasties.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jasmine, you know nothing about that because you're not a football.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Y'all whack.
I
Yo,
am
I don't even know
whack.
how you got a man if you're not a football.
definitely.
I don't understand that.
Almost,
We
yeah.
have other
figure-
interests.
I bet
Maybe
you
even-
do. You better.
Even almost for 20 years.
Yeah.
Even before that. Even before Brady, because you gotta understand they were in the Super Bowl before Brady too. They
Yeah.
just lost to
But he was there during that time.
on the sideline. Yeah,
Yes,
Why-
that's what I'm
right.
saying.
Yeah. Because Bledsoe, he took
Oh,
them to the
Bledsoe,
Super
yeah,
Bowl. He
yeah.
took them to the
I
Super Bowl.
love
They
Bledsoe.
didn't
Yeah.
win it,
Yeah.
but they were ready.
So
Well,
who's
man.
he? Who we talking about? Because who was our guest today?
Jimmy D,
Jimmy D.
New Bedford's own Jimmy D.
Oh, nice.
And I don't think a lot of people. I don't know. I know people that know him know where he has been and what he has seen in his accomplishments. But we're gonna bring it to the light of a lot of people that may not know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And understand that a lot of things could be answered. I can't.
Why this guy?
All right.
He's
Nah, I'm
trying
joking.
to be so mysterious.
But we also have a great show. We're gonna talk about what on your segment. What we have to talk about on your segment?
We're gonna talk
the
about
news.
We're gonna talk about the parade. What happened at the parade at the Super Bowl?
Yes,
the
we gotta talk about
unfortunate-
that.
Unfortunate shooting.
I got an opinion about that. Like I always have
We
an
know
opinion
you
about.
do.
Yeah, I got an opinion too. This is one of our topics that could go in many different directions.
Yeah,
You got gun control, you got violence,
Yep.
you got everything. So
yeah,
we're gonna discuss that. And then maybe something else. We'll see.
yeah. Then we got into know and going down the rabbit hole. Jasmine always got great stories.
I try.
There's some stories that I share with people that they missed the part of your segment, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I was like, you got to get into the show because Jasmine comes up with some crazy stuff.
I
Talking
enjoy
about
it.
my boy Steve.
So it was Steve.
Yo,
Oh yeah,
Steve!
Steve. Yeah, Steve.
Steve's crazy.
Yeah,
Hey,
Steve
I'm
was
hearing
wild.
that I'm not getting voice. Someone might have said that on my page.
No.
Everything's fine.
All right, all right.
We're getting voice.
Yeah.
Yo, check y'all shit. Nah.
You're good.
And we can swear because we're on internet radio. Um, and then we got entertainment. Well, we got entertainment because my main conspiracy theorist here. We got what you got here?
Just I've been reading up a lot on the gambling on the NFL. Tony Romo was talking about it.
Yeah.
That it's making the NFL less pure.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that, and also is the NFL script, is it rigged? There's a lot of things going on in the media.
Yeah.
Talking about it. So we're gonna get deep into that and see what people think about.
Mm-hmm. And we also got the Grammys talking about Jay-Z's response.
Oh,
He's getting
yep.
a lot of heat about that stuff.
Right. Yep.
And so that's the entertainment news we have. So we have a full show.
Let's
Great
go.
guest, full show. We're gonna get it started now. I usually pick out the music for the show if anybody knows because
We know.
all right, and I'm so like sweating Usher's album, his new album. We all know that Usher was the performer of halftime show,
Right.
of the halftime, and I think it was probably like top 5 all time, in my opinion. And I see
You are
Jasmine.
fangirling over.
No,
it.
Listen.
You are fangirling.
It's top 5.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at
It was
halftime
it was a good
shows.
show.
It was a good
Yeah,
show.
it was a good show.
Stop
Definitely,
yourself.
put.
It was a top 5. It was a top 5.
I've heard mixed reviews. I thought it was really good, but I heard
Yeah, I mean,
It could have been better. I give it an A minus, but I still think it's
Minors?
A minus.
I mean, you know what? I mean, when you think there's so many Super Bowls. I mean, there's been so many performances. I mean, I think they all just to be up there do a great job.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
general, you know,
Yeah.
just putting a show together it's takes a lot of work. So.
Yeah.
But I think just bringing them old school music back was dope. So, but yeah, it was a good show.
Damn, Usher's old school music.
Oh my! Just play the song.
Oh,
You
it's
know
old
you
Yeah,
want
let's-
to.
let's go.
You know
Let's
you
go.
want to play this.
Nah, I'm playing
Play
this.
it.
It's not old school though.
I know it's
It's
new
off his
stuff.
new.
Oh, this is new album.
You
Yeah,
heard the song though.
I got it.
I
I
heard
got it.
them all.
It's
So
good, right? Isn't it good?
It
though?
is good.
It is. All right, so we're gonna take this music break. Then we're gonna bring in Jibby D. We're gonna get into what he experienced as far as into the Patriots organization, and then we're gonna get a lot of like I have questions. I have questions that I want to ask, and I hope I get answers.
You're gonna get them.
All right, let's go.
This is gonna be fun. This song that I actually chose to start off our show because I want to get into again. Wait a minute. I keep on forgetting. What's our frequency? Do we put out the frequency word? We didn't do that.
Nope.
All right, so
Forward.
that's our frequency word.
Yep, move forward.
Moving forward.
She's telling you something. Let's go.
Yo, listen.
Giving you subtle hints.
Oh
We're
man.
having fun here. We're having
Yeah.
fun here.
People what they want.
Yo,
Yeah, I give it
listen.
because I didn't even think he was gonna come.
All right, so our frequency word is forward via Jasmine. Jasmine picked it.
Go.
All right. This song that I picked, this is it's an energy song. It puts you in the right frequency. Case in point, frequency live, leading into vibrational experiences. Okay. And it does. It has like a Michael Jackson vibe.
Okay.
It's an Asian singer that Usher collaborated with
Okay.
that was very interesting. Now, if anybody knows about music, there's a Asian pop band called BTS,
Yes.
and he was part of that band.
Yeah.
And he went solo and he created this song, and Usher liked the song so much that he collaborated with him to create the remix, which you will hear now on Usher's album. And so to create the vibe, the right frequency for our guest and for the show this week, this song is called "Standing Next to You" from Usher, and the Asian artist is Jungkook, JUNGKUOOK. Jungkook, and he's actually a good artist. Like I've been following him and knowing the histories of his other songs, and he's actually a talented artist. And I can understand why Usher wanted to work with him. And if you have not heard the song, listen to the song and go watch the video because the video is dope. Usher kills it. All right, this song is called "Standing Next to You." I can't even talk. We'll be back with Jimmy D. Jimmy D, listen, I don't speak very clearly sometimes, but that's okay. Like I'm like a Shannon Sharp type of host. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
This is Standing Next to You from Jungkook featuring Usher on Usher's album. Go get the album. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to WMB1 Radio. This is the Frequency Live. Yeah, we're back. We're back. That was Standing Next to You from Jungkook
I like that. I like the vibe of that song.
and Usher. That wasn't that a good
Yeah,
vibe?
that was a good vibe. I
That,
like
that
that.
that's what we need more need in society today. We needed some good music to celebrate happiness.
No, yeah, it was
Because I'm standing
definitely.
next to you, Joe.
I know. We breathing.
Jimmy D, I'm standing next to you.
Right.
I'm standing next to you. All right. So we have Jimmy D here. Jimmy D, like I like to start our interview process with a question. Just to it's like a question, I call it the icebreaker question.
All right, go ahead.
So just to get the people to get to know who you are. Um, you have a choice to have dinner in a conversation with anyone, dead or alive, who would that be?
My father.
All right.
Explain that.
I miss him. He's been dead for 10 years.
What kind of conversations would you have? Like, what would you ask him?
I said, Dad, I'm retired. I had a great career. You helped me get to where I got. I appreciate everything you did for me.
No doubt.
That's awesome.
That's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah.
So the reason why I asked that question, because I think it shows a lot about the way the person answers it, the person they are. I like to think that what I got from your answer is you're a family man, and
I'd say so.
and you value genuine relationships,
Right.
and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because I think that it's I appreciate genuine relationships, genuine friendships, genuine working relationships. Where I got my crew here. This is my people here.
Right. You can tell.
You can tell how we how we are with each other. Yeah.
These guys are crazy. Like,
But we have a good time doing what we're doing. So let's get into it.
Okay.
You and guys chime in whatever questions you got prepared for this interview. I'm going to start it and you guys get into it. I want to ask, what was your role in the Patriots organization? Because I want this interview to be about not what was on the field, but the organization. Because I want people to understand there's a lot of things that I feel, this is my opinion, that goes into developing the dynasty that the Patriots that were.
Right.
So what was your position as far as in the Patriots organization?
So I was the video director, 27 out of my 30 years. My first 3, I was the assistant. And our job was to get the coaches and the players and also the scouts prepared for the next opponent or whatever. So what we did was we would go out and shoot our practices. We would shoot our games. We would edit those practices, get them to the coaches in a fast period of time so they can have their meetings. Like we'd say we'd had 11 o'clock practice.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have those tapes ready by 1 because they're in meetings at 1. So you would shoot the practice so now they can watch the practice.
wow.
You know?
Okay.
So everything was fast.
Right. Fast
I mean,
paced.
So-
you were under the pressure. You were under the gun to get things done.
So you had to tape the practices.
Right. All practices.
So all practices for the next day of review
After practice review.
after
Right.
practice.
So what they
Wow.
So this is what they do. This is a regular football day.
Okay.
Okay. So you'd have a squad meeting.
Mhm.
Coach Belichick. I'll use him because I was there with 25 years with Bill.
Mhm.
So Belichick could have the squad, full team over there. Okay. Then after Bill finishes his half hour or whatever he's doing, he would go offense and defense. So say Josh McDaniels and Romeo Crennel,
Mhm.
the defensive coordinator and the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Offense and defense would split up. Now they're teaching their guys. And what they're doing is they're going over our next opponent
Mhm.
and what we have to do to beat them.
Right.
Okay. So after the offense and defense meet, then they break up into tight end room, running back room, quarterback room, defensive backs, linebackers, D line. So now they all meet. Then there's a little break for lunch. Then they go out to the practice field and they do what they were taught in class. We film it, and after the practice is over, they go back into meetings and they review the film to see where the guy messed up or why you were not doing it this way.
Okay.
So that was our daily routine.
Mm.
Also, we shot every game. So after games, we had to edit them, get them to our coaches, and then get them to NFL Films so they can distribute that game to all 32 other 31 teams. So, everything's. I mean, it is just give you an example of the grind.
I bet.
So we would go. Listen to this one. Say we played in say San Francisco on a Monday night. Okay, so that game's over here at 11:30, right?
Right.
We're in San Francisco. We got an hour to get our stuff, edit the tape on computers now. so that the coaches can watch it on the plane. Okay, an hour.
Right.
Get your stuff packed up. Maybe take a shower. Maybe not. Get on the bus. Go to the airport. Get on the plane. Hand out the iPads that the coaches can look at. Make sure everything's working that way. Fly home 6 hours. Get to Foxborough at about 5:30 in the morning. Go right to work.
Right.
Because we got to work because we're already a day late. I mean, all the games are
You're
coming.
behind,
We got to get all that
Yeah.
stuff done.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I would stay. I'd send my guys home. I would stay till do my work, get on a treadmill at about 10, and then get off. It's just better than drinking coffee all day.
Yeah.
Right.
And then go back and finish my work till 3:00. Then I'd drive home from Foxborough to New Bedford.
Wow.
Go to bed at 8, get up at 5, go back to Foxborough next day. And that's 7 days a week.
Right.
That's a grind. I did that for 30 years.
That's a lot.
That's a grind.
Yeah.
So I
So,
don't,
so how many times do they practice a week?
3 times a week.
3 times a week?
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
And Saturday, is usually a walkthrough, and if we're on the road, we travel Saturdays. So we go out Saturday to wherever we're going, and we play Sunday, and then we pack up and come back to Foxborough. The road for a young guy is great. For an old guy,
Right.
it's hard, man.
Just looking to retire already, right?
We were playing the Broncos on Christmas Eve in Denver at 8:00 game. Halftime, I just said to myself, "What are you doing?"
Right.
I walked all into my house at 9 a.m. Christmas morning.
Yeah.
But I think that's when I knew I was done.
Yeah.
I said, well, "Come on,
30 years is a good run, though.
30 years is a good run."
I mean,
That's a
yeah.
great run.
That's a good run. Yeah.
That's how long. The Patriots had a 20-year run, right? But no, but like I said, they were
kinda
doing
started I came in a month after Kraft bought the team.
right. So that was a little bit
You
more.
was there the whole time.
Yeah, so it was more than 20 years ago, right?
30 years.
30.
It started in '94.
Got you.
That was my
Okay.
first season.
And they went to the Super Bowl in '96.
Right. That's right.
Right.
Wait.
With Drew Bledsoe.
That's right.
Right. Yeah.
Against Green Bay.
With Green Bay. Exactly. Yeah. Right.
Where they should have won that Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
And that was Belichick came back that year.
Yeah.
Right.
He was Al Groh was a defensive coordinator, but Bill had linebackers.
I didn't know that he was a linebacker coach. He
No,
wasn't the
I'm sorry, he
defensive
was
coordinator.
defensive back coach.
Was he? I thought.
Yeah.
I always thought that Bill Belichick was this defensive. Wow.
Al Groh was, yeah, and Bill was great. Oh my God, he was like when you're in a building, like we were.
Yeah.
A guy like we're there all the time. We go to work and for training camp. We're there 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, these are the guys you work with. These are your guys. It's like this room here,
Right.
but you're with each other all the time. So, when Belichick wasn't the head coach,
Mhm.
I was in his office all the time. He had a little office smaller than this.
Right,
Romeo
right.
Cornell.
Yeah.
So me and Bill had a good, rapport. And when he came back, okay, now he's a head coach, which is different,
Right.
a lot different than when he was an assistant coach. But Bill was awesome.
So all right. So that's a good segue.
Yeah.
What's the difference between him being an assistant coach to a head coach?
There is so much more to do.
Do it. Right.
You got like Bill would walk down the hall, right? And I worked for Bill forever,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd be going one way, I'd be going the other way. His head would be down. I go, hey, coach, how you doing? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
10 steps later, he'd turn around and goes, oh, hey, Jim, how you doing? But he's thinking.
Right.
He's
Right.
thinking.
Right.
Thinking of the next step. The guy was brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Smartest guy I ever met.
No,
I believe it.
Yeah.
He
I
had
believe it.
So much on his plate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be a head coach in the NFL, that's why they get fired in 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. There's no
He
longevity
took
like
on
that.
the general manager slot too.
It was and that's an interesting deal too, because he had guys to bring him information, and then Bill would make the final decision.
Yes.
You can't do both things.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't,
Right.
you
Right.
just can't do it.
Right.
So
Mhm.
he always depended on his coaches and his scouts, to bring him the right information.
Right. Right.
And they did a great job for 25 years.
Right.
But because they did such a great job, that's how they moved on to other positions and higher positions.
Yeah.
And that's where he was losing his assets.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I used to go to the draft. I was the guy on the draft table, and he would say, Jim, we're going to pick Richard Seymour. Write it down, give it the card in. So, I was privy to a lot of conversations in those draft rooms, and just to see how that stuff worked was mind blowing.
I bet.
It really was. It was, and how he handled that stuff, but there's so much to do with it. There's so much. I mean, like all the fans might say, "Wow, this guy, we got to draft this guy. We got to draft this guy," but you have 30 visits where kids who are going to be drafted can come into your building and you can interview them. You only have 30 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there's times when these kids do not want to be there. They don't want to play for New England. They have their eyes on
somewhere else because of maybe the location or whatever reason.
Whatever the reason.
Yeah.
So they will blow that interview up. They'll come in and be the biggest jerks you'll ever meet. And so we obviously will say, we're not drafting this kid
because he doesn't want to be here.
Right.
And then we pass on the kid and we get killed.
See, that's the
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's so much more to just, hey, we'll take that guy.
Right.
So I'm getting from what you just said is like Belichick got a lot of criticism of choices of players that he chose.
Right.
But there's a lot of yes. But there's a lot of context into that, meaning he got to depend on his scouts.
Yep.
He got to depend on the interview that actually what you said with the players will actually want to be here.
Right.
Because if a player doesn't want to be here, am I going to get the best out of him?
Right.
Can I coach him? Right. So if he's looking at that, he's seeing that and saying, maybe this is not best for the team.
Right.
And that's always been Bill.
Right.
I'm going to do best for the team.
Right.
And that's how he was from day one till the day he got fired or the day he left.
Right.
It was like, okay, it's that's what he did. And he took the bullets, and listen, you don't go to freaking 10, he would go to 9 Super Bowls and win 6 of them.
Right.
Without not knowing what you're doing.
Right. No, of course.
The beautiful thing about our run was we drafted between 28 and 32 for 20 years.
Yeah.
So that means the 28 best players are already gone.
Right.
In each round.
Now,
So now,
and still picking up
and we
talented.
got like Logan Mankins out.
Right.
We got a lot of great players out.
Right. Skillful players.
Right.
That's what some
100%.
they look for skills more than anybody else.
I don't even like. There's not like. Correct me if I'm wrong, because this is why I love having you on, because you have the inside scoop. I think Belichick was more about the intelligence of the player
100%.
versus the athletic ability of the player.
He would think that if you and I don't want to talk for Bill, but from what the kid has to be an athlete. I mean,
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's.
But you have to be like I've heard stories of him going out on they have pro days. So like say the University of Arizona has a pro day, and you go out there because there's say a wide receiver that you're interested in, or tackle, whatever position it is.
Yeah.
And then you start talking to the kid, and he has no answers for you. And are you going to pay this kid first round money? And the kid can't even grasp a simple question.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
That's
Right.
That's.
and so it's hard. I mean, hitting on the draft is hard.
Yes.
And Bill's, I don't know. I mean, Bill and Kraft, and Robert had to say, I don't think as much in picking players, but is the whole overall decision making. I mean, as far as budgets and stuff like that, they work so well together. They did for so long. And you can't just give all the credit to one guy. And that's you had Robert and you had Bill.
I got a question for you. You mentioned Kraft, so it made me think of it. When Parcells was there, and then Belichick did Kraft act differently, or did he change the way he?
I think it was a learning
curve, right?
Yeah, it was a learning curve for Mr. Kraft, and he learned pretty good. I mean, he learned quick.
Yeah,
and Bill Parcells, it was like new world and Robert, new world owner, coming against a freaking old bull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that wasn't going to work, you know. And I know they both, you know, I know they've said that if they could have done it over, they would have done it differently. But
right.
it's because of the experience that they got. I mean, how many people don't mess things up?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's life.
that's
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
People are, you know, these guys make mistakes. Everybody makes
Right.
mistakes. Parcells made a mistake, and maybe Robert made a mistake. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
I wasn't in on those situations,
Right.
but it was just like old school meet new school.
I like it's you speak on that because when Parcell had the issue with Mr. Kraft, and what he say, if you want me to cook the meal, you gotta allow me to shop for the groceries.
Yeah.
And funny, when Bill Belichick came in, Kraft allowed Bill Belichick to shop for the groceries that he didn't allow Parcells to do. I think that he realized I made the mistakes with Parcells, that I'm not going to make the same mistake with Bill Belichick. Is that correct saying that?
It's in a way it is. In a way it isn't. Yeah. Bobby Greer is probably the best general manager Patriots ever had.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
And Parcells respected him, but they just saw it differently. And Robert was smart. He went with Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's how we got Terry Glenn. Bill didn't want Terry Glenn.
Yeah, Parcells didn't. Yeah.
Right.
So if you're gonna, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna shop for the groceries.
Yeah.
Make sure you get them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
so you know, that's what I can say about that.
There's a name that I cannot remember that worked close to Bill Belichick. He was an older gentleman. Do you know who I'm talking about? As far as the numbers and stats.
Ernie Adams.
Ernie Adams.
Right.
So speak
Ernie's
on
my
Ernie
guy.
Adams. Ernie Adams and what
Ernie
is his importance to the organization.
Ernie and Bill went to high school together.
Oh wow.
They were
Another-
tight,
Yeah.
you know, and Ernie was with Chuck Fairbanks in the 70s with the Patriots, and Bill went to, I think he started out in Denver. He started out as a film guy, Belichick, in Denver and Baltimore. And, you know, they were always friends. And then they just got back together.
Mm.
And it was like, I think there were like three guys, Bill, Ernie, and Romeo Crennel, who if they're talking, you bet, if you're on the headset during a game, you better shut up.
Yeah.
You know, you better let these guys talk,
Yeah.
because Bill's going to listen to those three guys right there. And Ernie was great. Ernie was a trip
Why was he so important to the organization?
because he was smart and he knew football and he was right.
So educate the people what did he do as far as chose players or
Well,
chose
yeah, you know, he was in Bill's, and the beautiful thing about Ernie was he never overstepped. You know what I mean? He never overstepped, and he was the guy who would, you know, Bill would go to for advice. You know, I mean, it's a classic Malcolm Butler's interception.
Yeah.
We practiced that. That was not a fluke. That wasn't why did he throw it. Why did he throw it? But we were ready for it.
Mhm.
We had those guys sucked in on that play, and that's why Malcolm did it. Well, Ernie drew up that play.
Mm.
That was Ernie, who, you know, and they knew, because Ernie, one of his jobs was doing all the film work and finding tendencies.
Tennessee, that's
You
the
know
word.
what I mean? So now we knew that Pete was there was a good chance he was gonna throw that ball, because that's what he did all
The
year.
time.
That's what he did.
Mm.
So if we weren't ready for that and they scored, that's on us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Right.
we didn't score. They didn't score. Malcolm picked it off.
Right. I mean, that was a key intel. Y'all won the Super Bowl for that one.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was huge.
since you mentioned Malcolm Butler, okay.
I'm going to tell you exactly what everybody else says. I don't know.
Well, no. So I wasn't going to ask that question, but what I was going to ask you is, do you ever like separate your job from being a fan, right? Because like me as a fan, being like, why didn't you play Malcolm Butler? Do you ever separate yourself as a fan and your job? No.
I don't think that. No. I mean, sometimes you're up there. Listen, when you're filming a game, you're into the game. You know, we have to be precise on what we do.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you guys know, if you see football shows and they show the coach's camera, the all 22 they call it, we have all 22 players in there. Well, that's what we shoot. We shoot the all 22, and you have to get 3 seconds of the clock to down, distance, field position, and time, so that when the coaches look at the film, they'll know this was 3rd and 5 in
Yeah.
the 25, and then you go down and get the shot.
It's wild.
So,
Yeah. For every play.
Sometimes when you say to yourself is, why do you run that play?
Right.
But not often,
Right.
not
Right.
often at all. I mean, probably in the later years more often, but man, I'll tell you, like when we were just dominating people,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would go to Pittsburgh and you'd be confident you're going to beat these guys. And you'd be on the bus going in, and those fans were everywhere surrounding the bus, flipping you off, calling every name in the book, and you just kind of knew, okay, keep it up. Oh, yeah.
He's a Steeler fan. He's a Steeler fan.
But you know what? The best thing about that, though, is when the bus is leaving, there's nobody left in the parking lot.
Right. They be heated.
So those are the little things that kind of get you.
So,
Go ahead.
so when you used to film practice,
Yep.
what was it for offense and defense?
Yeah, it was for everything.
For everything.
So what they do is they have individual periods.
Okay.
Every position group gets together, and the coaches will run their hand drills and get offs. The defensive linemen using their hands and different swims, and offensive linemen working together on their pass protection or their run blocking.
Gotcha.
Receivers running routes and stuff like that. Then you go into like a 7-on-7, which is a passing drill, or a run drill, and then you go team, which is offense against defense. But it's always first team offense against the second team defense, and the second team defense is running the defense that they're going to face. The Colts are going to run this week,
Right.
So
Okay.
that's how they get ready for that.
So do you watch film of other teams before?
Oh, we watch. Yeah, we have
before you do the other practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha.
And that's how they break it down.
All right.
So
Yeah.
they break down through their tendencies and all that stuff of how they're going to attack the next opponent. So
Okay.
Like you don't do that though, right? You just like give them the film. Like
well,
who breaks all that
I'll
down?
tell you, well, we get the we'll get the film. In the old days, we did. Like in the old days when it was just tape, we did everything. I mean, we would go down through the tape. We'd have 6 record decks. This is tape.
Yeah.
There
Right.
wasn't computers yet.
Right.
And we would have to first downs, put it on a tape. First and second down passes, put it on a tape.
Wow.
Third down runs, put it on a tape. Third down
Jeez.
pass, put it on a tape. Red zone, put it on. I mean, there was 70 different categories.
Right.
And we had to just keep going through that script and saying, by the time, man, we knew that the team we're playing better than the coaches probably because we saw
Right.
things so often.
Yeah.
So, but then when you get into the world of computers, which was a huge transition for us.
Right.
Think about it. You're going from tape
The
to
computer.
So yeah.
in like
Seconds.
Yeah,
Right.
The guy came down one day. I think it was 98. He comes down and he puts his box on my desk. I go, what the hell is that? This is your new computer. What does it do?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So it's like, but I transitioned and I learned it and I ran my own computer network.
Wow.
Right.
I didn't have any IT guys with me. It was just me.
Oh, you
Right,
just
right.
had to learn on your own. They had nobody come in and teach you how the computer works.
Well, they had guys of the software companies coming and treat you, but we had to figure it out.
Figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
Fast, too.
That's one of the things that I'm most proud of. We set these guys up, and there were problems, obviously,
Yeah.
but not that many.
Yeah.
And we I think we did a good job of that because that's a huge transition.
Yep.
So
Go ahead.
how many guys do you have like to accomplish this on a weekly basis?
Well, back then, it was only 2 of us and an intern. And now, my last year, I had 4, regular guys and myself, full-time guys.
Oh, okay.
2 from New Bedford. Wait a minute, 2 or 3. 2 from New Bedford, 1 from Dartmouth.
Wow.
Don't mess around, man.
Yeah. You bringing everyone.
bring on your
Yeah,
peoples.
And one kid from Foxborough, but he used to be down here working in New Bedford. All the time. So he counts.
Yeah.
So what and I'll tell you a little story about that. Is we had a little problem that I'm not going to really get into, and we had this guy named Matt Walsh. Who, we'll get into later another time.
Oh, we know who Matt Walsh is. Okay, go ahead.
And he was given to me. He was in my department. I did not hire him.
Mhm.
He was like a last minute add on to my staff. We had that problem, and then I went in. And before that happened, I had a conversation with Bill. And he said, Jim, listen, because I, brought kids in from New Bedford as my interns, just for the summer or whatever.
Yep.
And before all this stuff blew up, he said, maybe you want to get somebody from outside of the area, not from New Bedford, because the press gets hold of it. What are we doing with all these kids from New Bedford? So I go, okay. So I get this kid from Quinnipiac College, and this kid had every freaking, he's gonna be the greatest video guy ever. You know what I mean?
He has all the education, the experiences. Yeah.
So I bring him in for a mini camp, and the day before training camp, the kid calls me up and says, "I can't do the hours." He just quit on me.
Oh man.
So it's like I needed a guy. So this kid Walsh was working up in scouting, and he's almost done. And they said, "Well, why don't you go down and help Jimmy do with video?" And then we had a problem with that kid. And I told Bill after that, I said, Bill, if I don't know their father, if I don't know their parents, I ain't hiring them.
Yeah.
Right.
Because his integrity. Yeah.
Yeah. And plus there's so much information up there.
Yeah.
You don't need some kid you don't know
No. Yeah.
going around and taking pictures of the scouting board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to know. Who's working.
Right.
So since I'm retired now, I can, say I did a pretty damn good job of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Getting my kids from New Bedford around here.
Right.
Mr. Clark still there?
Yeah. Ben Clark's my guy.
I'm good friends with Jimmy Clark. He's a good
yeah.
guy. Yeah. That's awesome.
My guy.
Wow. So it's interesting to know that a lot of people from this area had intricate parts in this dynasty that
In the video department.
The video department, which is a very important because what you explain is how Bill Belichick goes about making decisions is from the information that he's receiving from people around him.
Right. Exactly right.
Mm-hmm. And that includes the scouts, the videographers, the coaches, and that's where he makes his decisions. Right. I want to get into the relationship with Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's the GOAT.
Oh, no doubt.
All right. And you was there from when he first got there.
Right.
And my perception of Brady, in what I feel, and this is just a perception, I don't know if it's true because obviously I wasn't in the building like you was, is that I feel like Bill Belichick doesn't get the credit that he deserves for who Brady is now. Is that correct saying?
Yeah, you know what? I think that without Belichick, Brady ain't Brady. Without Brady, Belichick ain't Brady. Ain't Belichick.
Yeah.
Those two guys worked so well together. And the common denominator is worked. There's nobody who worked harder than Tom Brady.
Right.
No coach who worked harder than Bill Belichick. And it was a perfect union.
Perfect storm.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
Yep.
And they just were so much smarter than everybody else. And Tom Brady made himself into a great quarterback.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
He was,
Because that first it was the defense and it had a running game and the defense.
That is exactly.
Yeah. So the first 3 years he was just developing, but then he just took off.
I just went over our 01, 03, and 04 seasons as a project.
Yep.
Archiving stuff. And those defenses are the most underrated.
Yeah.
Of all time. I'm telling you right. I think that I told this to Belichick. I said, Bill, I mean, you had like the Kansas City Chiefs of the late '60s. You had the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Steelers and their steel curtain. And I said, you had your Giants.
Right.
The New England Patriots defense, especially 03, 04, was better. And
Right.
I watched every game.
No,
I
yeah.
mean, you know, the best linebacker we had was Roman Pfeiffer.
Oh, I remember
He
him.
was good.
Yeah.
Roman
Yeah.
Pfeiffer.
Yeah, he was a
Boy,
tough boy.
He could play inside.
Yeah.
He could play outside. He could run. He would hit you.
And feel it.
He was. I had a conversation with Bill about him, and he said, "Jim, I've been trying to replace Roman for 20 years." You know?
Right.
So, you know,
Willie McGinnis.
I actually feel like the undefeated season, that defense doesn't get enough credit.
and that's what Bill said. He also said, you know, he said in then 07 we added Junior.
Junior Seau.
Yeah.
People forget Junior Seau, and that was if you
And he was playing some good ball.
If you go watch Junior Seau how he played,
Yeah.
it's unbelievable. And it's and this is what I mean. Like, not to get off topic, when I'm watching football now, I look at it as I'm getting older and I have more experience with watching football. I think a lot of these players are moving and playing with just pure talent versus what Bill Belichick looks for as the intellectual side of the game and how you're putting yourself in the right place. You're just running on your pure athletic ability, you know. But when you go back and look at these Patriots players, they are great athletes, but they're always in the right place at the right time because
That's coaching.
the work.
Yeah.
That's why when you see players now, you're seeing a lot of missed kicks, a lot of drop passes, missed tackles, like all this stuff.
They're not putting in the work.
You're not putting in the work. You're seeing terrible average quarterback play because you're not putting work like a Brady did, where it's like he's an average quarterback, but he put in, I'm gonna get the right footwork. I'm gonna get the right all this other stuff. So when people, I think we're too much enamored with the athletic ability of these players, but they're cheating you.
Right.
When you're looking at what we as locally, what we experienced as far as these players, and it also, I think it started from Bill Belichick creating the culture of accountability.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
And let's
because they all became superstars. Yeah. Anybody that played there became superstars. Then when they go somewhere else,
yes,
they don't do nothing.
And that's why I made that little speech to get into a segue of Bill Belichick's accountability
I think Bill
of players.
I think Bill was probably the best, and I know he was the best linebacker and defensive back coach who's ever lived. Number one. But he's also the best technician. The fundamental work we do with players over the years is incredible. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just work on everything. And that's Bill. You know, I mean, that's why they don't make a lot of mistakes, because they drill them.
Right.
You know, he just drills them. I mean, their footwork and their hand placements, and that's
those little things.
Yeah, the little, yeah.
And they don't cut corners. I remember Brian Hoyer was with us when he first came up, and he left. He went to Cleveland and Houston, I think. Then he came back, and I said, "Hoyer, what's the difference? You know, you're back. What's the difference between those other places?" He goes, "Jimmy D, it's simple." He says, "You get into the quarterback room here, and you don't cut corners." He says, "Here we do everything fundamentally right." He says, "You go to somewhere else, they're cutting corners. We'll end this meeting a couple minutes early." Stuff like that, just little things like that.
Right.
Or they won't cover everything. We'll get to it later. You know, that's not how it worked in New England.
Wow,
no, right. Everything, and that's why. And that
they play by the books.
Play by the books.
And that's where like when you like one of my favorite football movies is Any Given Sunday. And there's a speech that Pacino says that goes, "It's a game of inches. You got to fight for that inch. You got to die for that." You know, I'm not verbatim, and that's what football is. So when you're saying I'm gonna cut this meeting a couple minutes short, that's that inch that you're gonna lose the game.
Right. That's that
minute.
Block.
You may not think it is
missed block that you could have gotten.
Yeah, that's right. That you could have taught that inch of you could have learned. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I think today's athletes are missing that. When you're comparing someone like a Michael Parsons to a Lawrence Taylor, you ain't a Lawrence Taylor. No, you're not a Lawrence Taylor. You're not even close to a Lawrence Taylor. That's how I look at it, because when you're looking at players, and I'm putting out Lawrence Taylor because Bill Belichick coached a Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
Which
he said is the best player he ever coached.
He said that.
He said that. Say that till he dies.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell him, and I've told him this, and he obviously doesn't agree with me, but I told him this, is if Andre Tippett went to the Giants and Lawrence Taylor went to the Patriots, Andre Tippett would be the greatest player to ever live, and nobody would know who Lawrence Taylor was because Lawrence
Wow.
Taylor, after Bill left, what happened to him? He
Wow.
disappeared. He was
Yeah.
coached by the two best coaches he could have possibly imagined.
No,
And
Right.
Tippett didn't have any coaches.
that's
Right, right,
true.
right.
I
And he
didn't
was
look at it
good.
that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just Tippett was a beast.
Right. Yeah.
But
I remember him.
He didn't have much coaching.
That's
And-
I
and
did not
see it-
look at it in that
And
perspective.
being with Bill for 25 years and
Right.
see what he does with players,
Mhm.
I don't think I'm wrong.
Right. No.
Yeah, he does have a lot of players that drafted late rounds.
Oh,
And
yeah.
not just
And-
Brady, but like
Well, look at this kid they brought in last year. I don't even know what the kid's name was. The cornerback from we took him off the street.
Gonzalez, is it Gonzalez? No.
This kid he came in like the last 3 games. I think he had 2 picks.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm filming the game and practices, and I'm saying, "Who the hell is this kid?" He was because we needed a cornerback.
Right.
The kid played great because Bill.
Right.
hurt him.
Right.
You know what? Something is good though is if you look. You know how they have those Super Bowl shows.
Yeah.
Like the last one we were in, 18, I guess it was, 19, beating the Rams. Their show was all about Belichick and McVay mic'd up.
Yep.
You want to see how Bill Belichick coached? You watch that film
Mm.
because Bill doesn't just stand on the side.
Yeah. They
Bill
scored 3
coached-
points. The
he
Rams.
coached them, but even in the game,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
during the game,
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
running down to like the line when they come off or whatever and saying,
Exactly.
we need to do
Right.
this.
Right,
you know,
right.
it's
telling
like-
them what to do.
No, he's definitely
Yeah.
in tune. Like he's one of my favorite coaches. I'm a Dolphin fan,
Yeah.
but I definitely
love Chris Greer, by the way. He's a great
okay. Yeah. So good.
guy.
We making moves over there, but I'm he's somebody I always would want to play for, Bill Belichick. So
It's
definitely-
Anybody wouldn't want to play.
And that's where is I want to stay on Brady for a moment. Then we're
Mm-hmm.
going to get into the Bill Belichick of now. Brady, speak on the man, the person, the teammate, the GOAT. Like, speak on your experience with him.
I know. I saw Tommy when he came in. I was at the draft table when we put in the card for Brady.
Oh,
Mm.
nice.
And he came in as a nice kid. Little. He was always on it. He always said, "This kid's okay." You know what I mean? Some kids just get lost, but he was pretty good. He was on it, and he just kept progressing. And he took to coaching like obviously nobody ever did before.
Right.
Or since. And he just turned himself into a great player, but it's a better kid than a player,
Wow.
as far as I'm concerned. This kid would look you straight in the eye, and he just a good guy,
Right.
and he would just like one day. My son was in the back room. He was like John. It was John. He was probably 8.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it was a training camp, and I'm kind of hiding him after the team meeting. And I was gonna get him out of there before team ended, but Bill ended it quick. So all the players are coming out of there. So I put him in this little back room, and there's Brady. Brady comes in and just starts talking to him. Hey, your
Wow.
pitcher. He said, "You better listen." Brady just sitting there, just talking to him, 8-year-old kid, just
Wow.
He was Tom Brady. When I saw his parents, I always told him he did a great job with that kid. And
Right.
that's one quick one. There is like you're walking down the hallway, and you take a right. It's a blind right. You take the right, and you see, oh shit. There's Belichick, Kraft, and Brady talking. Yeah, you don't want to run. Turn around, but you really can't turn. So you start walking by there, and Brady would be the guy. He'd call me Mr. D. Hey, Mr. D, how you doing? In the middle of the conversation. Then Rob would say, "Oh, hi, Jimmy."
Wow.
Oh, what's up, Jim?
Mhm.
But if Brady didn't say that,
Right.
Yeah.
there's
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's just. And one more. About Brady. One more. When we signed Antonio Brown. Now I'm in the office every morning at 6 because coaches are going to be there, players are going to be there. We got to have somebody there. That's like 6:05, and Tommy texts me, "Hey, can you come to the quarterback room? Having trouble with the laptop." So I go, Brady's in there at 6 a.m. watching film.
Mm.
So I go in there, and he's sitting with AB as the first day we signed him. And I've been in a situation where guys, coaches, sitting with a player or whatever, will just like big time you. Like we were having problems earlier before. Try that with a freaking coach on your back. Like, what's going on with this thing? Why isn't this working? This is ridiculous. And Brady says, "Hey, AB, this is the best video guy in the league, Jimmy D. Jimmy, say hello to AB." And AB looks at me and he goes, "Yeah." Listen to mustache. That's it. I said, "Oh, the kid can play. I know that." But then I just fixed his computer and we were off and running. But that's Tom Brady. He introduces me to the guy.
Right.
That's a difference.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the biggest asset Brady has that he's humble enough to allow himself to be coached.
Oh, he is the most coachable person there is.
And that's what makes him so great.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was coachable.
Yeah, coachable. Yeah.
I used to film him individual period before practice, and he would throw the route, and he would have the equipment guy go stand where he's got to throw the ball. If it's a slant or if it's an out, or if it's a deep ball or whatever it is, and I would always film him. He'd be throwing it, and I'd be in front of him, and the sound that made was unbelievable. I'll never hear it again.
Mm-hmm.
It would be, he'd get the ball, he'd hit a ball, hit his hands, and then you'd hear, he's freaking grunting, and you hear the ball
Right.
whistling right by your ear. It was unbelievable. And then we got other guys in there. You're not hearing that. Other quarterbacks are coming. Not even close.
Right.
But yeah.
It seemed like he'd gotten better as a player as older he get, because he was, and this is where my critique when it comes to athletes today. And this is why I think that like it's almost like I'm so, I don't know, maybe because the Patriots set a standard. And I'm a Raiders fan, and I feel like we have great athletes. And I said it before earlier about how people, and I think Brady said this in an interview, that you're not perfecting your skill. You're not doing the things outside of practice, especially now with the collective bargaining agreement where there's less practice time. And I think that affects Bill Belichick's coaching.
It affects the whole product.
Please
100%.
Talk on that. Like, this is education. This is why I wanted to have you here to maybe understand how things work behind the scenes of Sunday.
Yeah, and this is my this is what I think. I'm not the expert on this or whatever.
But you have the
experience. We used to go out to Bryant College for training camp, okay? And we would go at 9 o'clock, full pads, 9 to 11. Mm-hmm. Then we go back out at 3 with shells, which is pretty much shoulder pads and shorts. But they were both physical practices.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you have maybe an hour of physical practice for training camp. And it's like, it shows up on game day. Guys are getting hurt more.
Right.
Because they're not used to the
power. Body's not built.
That's right. You don't get those calluses, and you're not used to it. And the players are fine with it. They think it makes their careers longer, but I don't think so. I think it hurts them because you're getting hurt more.
Right.
I don't know. I might be wrong. And, but you're seeing it on the field, I think. I don't think the product is
right.
And that's for all. I've been arguing,
and you're talking about for all teams and just in general, right?
All teams.
Okay, yep.
And I've been arguing with my friends and people, fans of football. Like, I just don't. I'm looking at it in a different glass, a different vision, and I see like just things like you're talented. You hit the genetic lottery, but you're not perfecting the craft. When you're looking where you look at Brady, where he wasn't the greatest athlete, but at the end of the day, and it's great, he's the
He
GOAT.
made up for it.
But how does he made the GOAT? Because he allowed himself to be coached. He wasn't a prima donna like, and he did the outside work that to make himself like that. He didn't hit the genetic lottery. So when these guys hit the genetic lottery, and we're so enamored because they could run fast, they could jump high, I'm not impressed by that anymore.
Right.
Maybe because what I've seen of the work ethic of, like maybe I paid a lot of attention to how the Patriots ran their organizations.
Right.
What do you think?
I think Brady had, beside the work ethic, I mean, I think he had like the something like mental that was above everyone else. Like when he was at Michigan, like you see,
And Michigan's like my favorite college team. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, he got like
why I remember him in Michigan. Yeah,
he got like benched, or like they started another quarterback in front of him, and then they got hurt. He came in, won games, like he just had that mentality, like I can get it done.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
And
He did.
I am I correct? Like I think Belichick was surprised that he was still on the board after the 199th pick. Is this guy still
No
here?
doubt about it. I mean, you look at that whole situation. We had Drew. We just signed him to $100 million contract.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so we're not looking for a quarterback.
Right.
And then Bill was, smart enough to say, "What's he doing on the board?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And he took him. We didn't need a quarterback. We had backups already. And
Right.
I'm not sure. I think it was Hewitt and
Yeah, because he was a third.
Yeah,
he was
it
a
was
third
fourth
string. Yeah,
string.
fourth
Yeah.
string or something
He
like
was-
that.
he was
Yep.
four
Yeah.
quarterbacks
Yep.
on there.
I don't know if it was.
I know Hewitt.
The hell was his name? Michael Bishop.
Bishop.
Had a gun.
Yep.
He could throw that ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly who those guys were. But hey, he worked his way into it. He really did. I
Right.
mean, he did it. Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody cared.
Yeah.
No, and
We
he
gotta
and he
do
took
Bledsoe.
he took the opportunity.
Yeah.
Once Bledsoe got hurt.
He put in the work, and I feel like I know I like especially when it comes to like professional sports. I'm looking at it in a totally different lens, and maybe it's my old age because I have more experience watching it, and I see these players just on pure talent, and they're making so much more money than back then.
Right.
So it's like that they'll feel like they don't have to make the when you're comparing someone like, and I keep on bringing him in, I'm sorry, Michael Parsons to Lawrence Taylor. He's not nowhere near Lawrence
Right.
Taylor. He's
Right.
not
Just the
nowhere
hunger.
near Lawrence Taylor. He's not. And be honest with you, he's a strong safety playing linebacker, to be honest with you. That's why he seems so fast. But I digress. That's not what we're going at. Before we end this interview, I want to talk about other than we talked about Belichick, we talked about Kraft, we talked about Brady. But there's a lot of personalities on that team. Let's talk about Gronk.
What I will say about Gronk is he knew how to play the marketing game.
Okay.
I mean, he was a smart kid. He wasn't Gronk
Not
in
yet.
the building. Nobody called him Gronk in the building.
No.
Right.
Called
Right.
him Rob.
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 Okay. See, this is
What's up,
Right.
Rob? I mean,
Gotcha.
I gotta go study. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't. He played that persona.
Yeah.
Right.
He really did, and and it's paid off for him. It really
Right.
had. I mean, he was good.
Yeah.
He was. Hey, Ben Coates,
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
Ben
Yeah,
Coates
yeah,
was
I
pretty
remember
good.
him.
Had some good tight ends.
Yeah.
What about the situation when happened to Hernandez?
Yeah.
How did that?
Rough.
It was rough, right?
It was rough. Nobody knew. It's Aaron.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Kid in the building. You see him. It's like you work with a guy, and he goes out that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
No.
No, it's
I mean,
crazy
it's just like,
because y'all just gave him big money, So
but nobody ever thought that was going to happen. I
Yeah, that was-
no, I mean that's crazy.
Yeah.
I know we are taking calls, so please call again. I was just aware that we had a call, so please call again if you did try to call. Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
He was a quarterback in college that ended up being a wide receiver. What was the whole process about as far as his transition into becoming one of the greatest slot receivers in the game?
Yeah, he was just a dog. He just did everything. I mean, he used to go out as a rookie, before practice. I mean, you know who hasn't.
Yeah.
And he would catch punts with like 5 balls in his hands.
Mhm.
So he's just trying to catch the 6th.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was just like he's just a dog.
Yeah.
He's just a dog.
No, he was.
And I mean, and he was smart. And I'll tell you what, Brady freaking rode him at practice more than because one of the things with Tom was he said that. I mean, he didn't say he made sure that you're running that route precise.
Right.
If you go a half yard too far, he's ripping you.
Right.
You know, and he
Right.
moves a lot, man. And that's you
Yeah.
know, and that's just how it was. But that's how he did it.
Right.
You know,
What about Randy Moss?
I love Randy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. He's one of my favorites.
Love.
Yeah. Speak on like go in detail with Randy.
Randy was just a good dude. I loved him.
Yeah.
I mean, because when you see a guy coming in with the bad press that he had,
Yeah, that time. Yep.
where he was going, you're saying to yourself, "Oh Jesus, what's this guy an idiot or what?"
Right.
The best, such a good dude. He was respectful, and he was just a great guy, and he was so good.
How was
Oh
his
yeah,
work
no,
ethic?
he was.
Good work ethic.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that used to kill me. You'd hear the media dog Randy about, well, he takes plays off. Show me a wide receiver in the NFL who doesn't.
Keep the
Right,
play
right.
off. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Plus, the guy's running flies. He's running posts.
And he's
running
older.
deep balls.
And he's also older.
But he's running deep balls. He's not running 3
Yeah.
yard
Yeah.
freaking
Yeah.
outs.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So yeah, that used to kill me. But Randy, I think Randy's the greatest wide receiver ever to play the game.
Ever.
Ever.
Okay.
Mm.
And he, without a doubt, he has the best hands of any player ever.
Mm.
Right.
And everybody
No,
says
he's
Jerry Rice. Jerry
Yeah.
Rice caught a slant and outran everybody.
right.
Yeah.
That's what he
You know what I
did.
mean?
Yep.
But Randy,
Massa get up there.
Randy-
Yeah.
Randy made plays.
Yeah, he definitely
You know what I
did.
mean?
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, yeah, he was
he
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You must. Do you ever look back to the? Do you ever look back on? You was in the midst of a time period where what was this? Who's that? Lopes.
He was
Moss
trained
was
by the
trained well
Vikings.
with the Vikings.
He's a Viking.
He's a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
When they had Cunningham.
you was in the midst of a time period where it's gonna stand the test of time in NFL history. To see all these great players. If you think about the great players, when you start with Brady, when you start with a Wes Welker, when you start with a Ben Coates, a Gronk, a Randy Moss, a Junior Seau, a Ty Law, and I could go, a Brewski. It's a Vincent Wilfork, a Seymour.
By the way, it's down to like 108.
Yeah, is he? Yeah, I haven't seen him. So
I
yeah,
saw him in Germany.
yeah.
Down like $1.80.
Yeah. To have all these players, yeah, just to see all these like a Logan Mankins, like
Adam
Falk,
Vinatieri, too.
Adam Vinatieri. Like there's so
Yeah.
many that is gonna stand the test of time in football history. How do you feel about that? Like do you think about it and when you're by yourself and like, wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's funny because, once I retired, it's only been a couple of weeks, but I never allowed myself to think about what was going on at the time it was going on. You're going to, and the Chiefs are going through it right now.
Yeah.
They're balling right now.
Yeah, they are balling.
And, and they're so busy with what they're doing, they can't really enjoy it.
Right.
But once you get done,
Hold on, see.
you can say,
You are on the Frequency Live. Who is speaking?
Hey, this is Charlie Perry. The
Charlie.
Yo.
guys ever had.
What's going on, Charlie? What's going on?
Hey, this is a great show, man. Jimmy D, man. You guys are leveling up, man. What's going on
"How you
here?
doing, kid?"
Do you have a question
I
for
love
Jimmy
it.
D? What's your question? Because I know you called up when you was thinking about something. Let us know.
Well, I personally met Corey Dillon. Could he give me a story about him? Because I think the guy was great, man.
He was a great
If he knew
player.
him, or if he knew.
He was quiet in the building, and Corey had that tough guy persona. You know what I mean? So I kind of I didn't go out of my way to get in his way. Him and Rodney Harrison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are two guys like that. But man, Corey was a beast.
Yeah.
He was such a good player, and he was a good dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think the persona that I just said, that I just laid out, is what the media has of him, and I think it's kind of wrong, because he wasn't a jerk. He was a good dude, but he was just, he just gave off that vibe. That maybe I better not mess with this guy, because he was a big dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Corey, for a running back.
He had
Yes,
legs.
Yeah, those legs.
Yeah.
Legs.
I liked him. Corey was a good. I say he came to a game this year as an alumni.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Anything else, Charlie?
Hey, I just want to say thank you, man. That was good. I just like Corey, and like I said, this is a great interview. With your permission, I like to put it on Spotify and get that going at the end of the night. But I need your permission to do
Yes, you do. Do you have his permission to?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because people are gonna want to go back and listen to
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right, Charlie.
All right,
Thank
man.
you, man.
You guys are great, and you know what? You kick Jasmine off the set for Jimmy D. You know what?
It was her idea. It was actually her idea.
All right, Charlie. Thank you. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Have a good night.
Thanks, Charlie. All right, I got something else.
Go ahead.
I know we're probably gonna get ready to wrap up, because you mentioned being a family man, which I know you are. I think it's so awesome that like your kids were able to go. I saw a picture. I scoped out your Facebook page, grab these pictures here, and I saw a picture of you at the draft with your kid. I think was your oldest kid?
I had a both.
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, those memories right there. So I know like your job,
Yeah.
16 hours a day, whatever. I'm sure you missed some family things,
That's a lot.
but it was nice too, where you could bring your kids
Yeah, I used to
around these legends.
I still do that. I mean, like my oldest son James, he was on the sideline.
Hold on, we gotta. I want hold that thought. You're on the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Who's speaking?
Hey, what's up, man? This is Derek Kahn, brother. How you doing?
What's going on, D? What's going on, Derek Kahn?
Hey, Derek.
You got any question for Jimmy D?
Yes, I do. Now, you guys are asking about all these football guys that came over and stuff. Like, what was the problem with Chad Ochocinco? How come he didn't seem like he couldn't pick it up?
Almost forgot about him.
He was pretty much a different type of player from the system that we ran. We tried to get, and he was so good in Cincinnati doing what he did.
Right.
But like with us, you had to learn everything. You had to learn every position as a wide receiver, So I think he had a little trouble picking it up, because in our offense, you had to be instinctual. If you think, you're done, So, and I think that was his biggest problem. He just didn't. I'm not saying there's a lot of guys who couldn't do it.
Right.
A lot of guys, he was just, it was just unfortunate, because he was a nice kid. And it's just unfortunate that I think it was just a system thing.
Right.
I think he's like an example of someone who is physically talented, but then you're not paying attention to the skill of the position, where maybe you wasn't comfortable with it because you wasn't doing the work outside of practice. Because if you do,
I think he did the work.
He did? Okay.
It's just hard. I mean, when you're in that situation,
It was that hard.
It's hard.
Right.
Yeah.
It is not easy. I mean,
Right.
and that's a tough. That's why they say you always miss on these wide receivers. Well, these guys have got to fit into our system.
Right.
Yeah.
If they can't do it, if you can't get it to the point where you react and you have to think, you're done.
Right.
You have to just react.
So his problem pretty much obviously wasn't physical.
No.
It was mental.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say mental either. I mean, I think it's just he couldn't grasp a different system, because he was in the league for so many years in a different system. And when he came over here, it was just so different.
There's more like detailed.
More detailed.
Yeah,
Maybe to blocking also,
yeah.
things of that nature. Maybe from blocking.
And I feel like it goes in life. It's like some people learn differently.
Right.
And if you don't can't comprehend something on a fast pace,
Right.
You're not gonna get it.
Right. And football's instinct. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to just react.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of players that got caught like that, but he sticks out because he was such a great athlete with Cincinnati.
Like Reggie Wayne was the same difference.
Reggie
Yeah.
Wayne
Yeah,
couldn't do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He just came for a couple of days and practice.
Yeah, and then he left.
He got paid.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
paid the whole camp.
Yeah.
But he was like,
I'm out.
yeah, he was. Yeah, I saw him in the cafeteria and I started talking to him, and like he was trying to figure it out, and he just said, dude, I'm done.
Right.
I'm
These are
It was too
receivers
much.
that are just used to going out,
Yeah.
doing their route.
It's
and
pure athletic
Yeah, that's
ability,
it,
but then
you
when
know?
you have to
But
really put in
that blocking
And
schemes
that's
and
why-
things
that's
of that.
why Edelman and Troy Brown, guys like that, Gronk, I mean, Daniel Graham. I mean, you got these guys who get it,
Right.
who can figure this stuff out,
Yeah.
and Welker, I mean, it's just
All right, I don't mean to cut you off, but I have one more question, Mr. Jimmy.
Yep.
Can you rank your top 5 quarterbacks of all time?
quarterbacks of all time.
Yeah, top 5.
Top 5. Oh, that's a good one. I'd go Brady. I'd have to say I'd go Marino,
Mm-hmm.
Montana, and people are gonna maybe shake their heads at this. But the guy won 4 Super Bowls, Terry Bradshaw.
Oh, hey.
And,
That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, and the last guy, I would go.
There's one
I might just go Bart Starr.
Okay.
You don't put Mr. Manning in there, not Peyton, not the Eli, Peyton.
Yeah, Peyton. Yeah, geez, that's hard to leave him out. I'd go 5 with him.
What about Elway?
Here's another one.
Here's another one. It's
Movie.
top
Yeah,
5,
it's-
man.
it's-
I mean,
it's
top
so
5
many.
is tough,
Top
man.
5 is tough.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
I would stick with that 5.
See,
And that's in no.
And-
And that's in no
and I'm not-
certain order.
yeah, what I failed to mention was take out all the Super Bowls and just go by this quarterback play.
Yeah, I had Marino in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I would take Marino out just because of that guy that's sitting over there on the other side of you. So.
Yeah.
But all right, man. I'll let you guys go, and thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for
No,
the call,
yeah,
man.
thanks.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
questions. Yep.
All right, so before we end this, I want to continue the relationship with your children and the experience that like the sacrifices and experience that they had when you doing this job.
Yeah, I mean, for them, they hit it at the right time. I mean, it was, my son, my oldest James is 21 and my youngest is 19. And they ran through the run. You know what I mean?
The whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time they've hit
Wow.
it. James was born. James was born in 01 and he was just in August. And I got a video of us coming back from the Super Bowl. And my sister-in-law, Michelle, had James, brought him up to the stadium. We were getting off the buses and it's mayhem. And Bill walks in the door and I got the baby and showed, hey, Bill, it's my son. And James starts crying and goes, I got that effect on kids. so James, met Bill when he was 3 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was James, he was on the field with the Prince, the Prince, and he would give them to the coaches.
Wow.
Since he was 10.
Yeah.
So he's been working on game days since he was 10. And
Wow.
he went to URI and he's going to graduate with biomedical engineering degree.
Wow.
He
Wants
to be a
Congratulations.
scout.
He graduated.
and John, my other son, he's a sophomore at URI, and he works training camps and game days for us too. So, and hopefully Teddy keeps you. Hope you're listening, Teddy. Keep John on. So
The passion is there in the family.
yeah, and they're lucky because they ran the ride where we were good.
Yeah.
And we were champions and we were winning. They were going to Super Bowls and duck boat parades.
That's all they know.
Yeah.
But now, when you have kids and you win 2 games a year, those kids take a beating.
Right.
Patriots suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My father's an idiot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't shoot video.
So the end of this interview. So obviously, Bill Belichick is. I don't understand why nobody hired him. I maybe kind of understand because I think we live in a different era of the weak athlete, in my opinion. That's what I think it is. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like it's a disservice to him because he's close to the record?
Yeah, I mean he'll have a job next year.
Yeah, I think so.
This one you can't take the coach out of Belichick. You just can't do it.
Right.
So 2 weeks ago, I have my niece Joelle Prada. I got her a job a couple of years ago as Amanda Belichick, who is the head lacrosse coach women's at Holy Cross. I got Joelle a job as the assistant coach. So Joelle texted me the other day on Saturday, goes, Uncle Jimmy, Bill Belichick's here helping us help coach. So he's
Serious?
only for the day.
Yeah.
So I guess Bill had to coach
Yeah.
something.
He had to coach something.
He had to coach something.
That's awesome.
So Bill, listen, Bill, don't feel bad for Bill. Bill will figure it out.
No, yeah.
And he'll get that right.
Yeah.
He might need this little break.
Yeah,
Maybe,
just to
maybe.
get his.
I thought he was going to Dallas.
Jerry Jones don't want to relinquish that.
They
he wants all the credit, and he will never get the
They
credit.
two are the
if
same
Bell-
people.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you put Bill in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that defense.
That's another dynasty. To be honest,
that
with you.
defense would be ugly.
The whole
That
team
de-
would be ugly. That would be
No, but
another
that's
dynasty.
like because I know Tom Brady he is the GOAT there, but I always felt that New England had a top defense every year.
Yeah.
So it's like
So imagine if you had a Bill Belichick, a defensive genius, playing with all those talent,
over
and then you have a Dak Prescott is kind of similar personality to Brady, that he may hold him more accountable and maybe give you something that, and that's what I feel. But I think a lot of Dallas fans don't want Belichick for that particular reason because there's some Patriots haters. But that would have been in your best service, where it would have started another dynasty because you do got great athletes on that
have
team.
some players over
You
there.
got
That's what I'm saying.
I would 100% do that if I was a Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I would too.
So y'all retired now. Retired. So, you said this is your first year retired?
I just retired 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So how do you feel about that? We're gonna end it like y'all feeling about your retirement from great organizations and being part of the greatest run of every professional sports ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said before, it's just really, I'm just really starting to think about it.
Yes.
Because you don't think about it while you're in it.
Right.
You just have too much going on. But when you step back and, you just start the really weird thing is, for me, all these stories that I've given you tonight ended Wednesday.
Right.
It ended last Wednesday when I retired.
Yeah.
Wow.
Done.
Yeah.
That's what I lived.
Right.
Now it's a different chapter of my life. And see, who knows, maybe I'd pick up something. Maybe I'd go teach a course in sports management or something like that.
Right.
If, I don't know, when you work as much as we have, for 7 days a week for 14 hours a day, I can't just sit in my house.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Window.
Yeah.
What the hell's he doing over there?
Yeah.
Get back in your house.
You could video him. You could video him. Like,
It's going to be a transition. I'll figure it out.
Well, something? I have an idea. So I've been trying. I think I'm gonna talk to you off air, because if y'all retired and everything like that, I'm thinking about developing a production company that I want to create audio documentaries and everything like that. Your expertise, maybe I want to have a sit down conversation with you to understand how that technology and how go about it and work at it. But that's something that we can. I'll reach out to you on a different level. But I want to thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Jimmy.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on. I mean, this was a great interview.
Good. I'm glad you liked it.
Yes. The stories, I think people got a lot from it. Any guys, you want to say anything?
No, it was definitely a lot of knowledge right now, so it was pretty good.
Good. I'm glad you guys had me. I enjoyed it.
And
Unitas.
Yeah.
Good one.
He's a Dallas fan. He said never happened in Dallas with Belichick.
Derek, you have anything to say before we
No, I appreciate you coming on. I called you the other day. You answered right away. You said yes right away. I was excited. I shared it with these guys. They were excited. So, being from the city, we're a city radio
Love New
station, right?
Yeah.
We want to, have people like you on
Yes, definitely.
within our community. So, much appreciated.
Like, and honestly, I did not know of you until Derek brought it to my attention to have
Profile, baby.
yeah, and then and then you actually saying how you brought other people on within the area to join you, and where New Bedford and a lot of people, sometimes people outside the community don't understand. They probably look at New Bedford as more of a negative, but when you look at New Bedford and really know New Bedford, the community sense of it, just the fact that you're in a position of helping other people in the community and bringing them on into a big organization like the Patriots, that's what New Bedford is all about. We help each other.
Oh, the funny thing is too is I've been in the league for 30 years, so I know a lot of people outside the league, and you ask anybody who knows me, they say, "Hey, Jimmy D," and they'll say, "From New Bedford."
There you go.
Yeah.
New Bedford.
We are a great small city, and this is what this show is all about: is to highlight people like yourself, that have the experience and accomplished a lot, where it can inspire other people from the city to do the same. So I want to thank you again. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
And enjoy your retirement.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
At least for a little.
Yeah.
Just for a little.
All right, so we're gonna take a music break. We're gonna bring back on Jasmine. We had her off air long enough. We gotta bring the spice back onto the air. All right, so again, I want to highlight Usher's album. I'm gonna say this song is I am the party I like. Also, we'll be right back with Derek's news, Broadway Joe's entertainment news, and Jasmine in the hole and in the know, in the hole, the rabbit hole and in the know. Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. This is Usher. I am the party. Yo, don't pay attention to me.
Yeah.
We'll be right back after this. Yeah, we're back. We're back. We're back. You listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio and Facebook Live. And we're going to be on Instagram Live soon. I'm your host, B. Carter.
I'm your boy Broadway Joe. Carry on.
Double D, Derek Demers.
It's Jasmine.
And we're going to get right into it. Right into it now. The news with Double D, Derek Demers.
Okay. So my news of the week might be a little brief, but Travis Kelce pushing his coach. Okay, I know this is during the Super Bowl. You know, this kind of bothered me. I will admit. I want to get Jimmy D's opinion, but we ran out of time with him. I thought it was disrespectful. I thought it was like, I know it's so much on Facebook, like heat of the moment and, players out there, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I get it. But I'm just saying, so many kids watching this, you blew up, whether it's you call it a push, shove in front of your coach. So uncalled for. What do you guys think?
I mean,
It's okay.
It's
okay.
No,
if we
yeah, no,
disagree.
no.
I mean,
It's not about. It's not really a disagreement because I do agree with what you're saying, but it is maybe in the heat of the moment. But it definitely doesn't look good, especially that you're bringing up the kids now, because it might give kids the, if they want to talk back to their coach,
I mean, I
the
think there's so
coach.
much problems, not so much, but there's problem with youth sports with kids
being
give
disrespectful,
disrespectful to the referees,
right?
to their coaches, what have you. So, I mean, the Super Bowl, there was restaurants that I feel like closed down at like 6:00. Like restaurants stopped serving at 6 because it's the Super Bowl.
Right.
So many eyeballs, a lot of kids watch the Super Bowl, and to blow up like that, I think is super disrespectful.
No, yeah, it definitely is. But I mean, I think the fact that they spoke upon it. But you're right. I mean, he should have not done that, which he did apologize. But to your point, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So listen, maybe I'm making more of a deal than it is, but it's how I feel. So the other thing is, he does this in front of like millions and millions of people, but he apologizes on a podcast at 2:00 in the afternoon where kids can't see that.
Right.
Kids can't see the hey, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Hey, so it's always like the apology, the mistake is always like a little bit
a thin line.
but it's always like crazy when the shit happens. So that I didn't really care for. He should have came out and said and made something of it. You know what? I shouldn't have done that to teach kids.
Well, yeah,
he should have. It's funny, but when you brought this subject up, I wasn't even thinking about the aspect of the kids.
Yeah. Right.
Especially where we live in a society where kids have a problem of respecting authority.
Mm-hmm.
And where we look at, like in America, athletes are put on this pedestal that it has a responsibility of how you
and that was a perfect
react. And it's a perfect example. You want to say that it was passion, but it's not perceived that way.
Yeah.
What I was looking at when you brought up the subject, I was looking at the race issue. What if it was Lamar Jackson? How would it? It would have been a big deal.
I mean, it's possible.
And I believe that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying? And I know that you didn't look at it that way too. I think it should be a big deal, but it wasn't a big deal, but it would have been a big deal if it was someone like Lamar Jackson. And every race, it should be a big deal, regardless if it's Lamar Jackson or Travis Kelce. And
I mean, I think some of it too was. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like Travis's girlfriend there, like
Taylor Swift.
Like no one wants to like beat them two up, right? They've been like darlings of the NFL since September, so no one wants to say anything negative
because they're bringing a lot of eyeballs to the NFL.
Yeah, millions of dollars. I get it. And that's awesome. I think she's awesome. I'm a fan. Like
they both are, to be honest.
Listen, they
both are.
He's probably a great guy. I'm not saying he's not.
He is.
No, yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, what happened should have never happened, and I think the apology should have been more. And I just, it was out of character.
And I completely agree. I mean, I don't want to put it like make it just a race issue, whatever. I just want to make it to a point where I feel like the response or the lack of response would be different if it was someone else. And I feel like watching it, I did it. It didn't. They didn't even make it a big deal even during the game.
Yeah, it's great. I couldn't believe it.
And they should have it wasn't like you see arguments. You seen Brady arguing with this. Okay, you can yell at each other, yeah, but he was bumping him, pushing him off. What if he
got in his face?
Right,
yeah,
right,
he
yeah.
bumped him,
Yeah.
and put your hands on him. And once you put your hands on him, all right, that's overstepping some type of boundaries. You gotta. I don't care if you're a $1 million athlete or whatever, but you gotta show some type of respect with authority. We may be making too much of a big deal of it, but we need to make big deal of it because there's a kids that's watching that's making them a big deal.
Right.
I think, I mean, again, I'm a big advocate for, I don't give a rat's ass what's going on the TV and the music. As a parent, if you think your kid is going to act out a certain way, because you know your kid.
Yeah.
If you're a good parent, you know if your kid's going to see that and see that they think they can do that. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Have a conversation with your kid. I don't think athletes, artists, anybody should be your kid's role model. And if that's what you're teaching your child to look up to these people that they don't know from Adam or Eve, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I get it. Kids idolize them, but at the same time, he's a grown man in his sport, which is his profession.
Yep.
I would not be worried about other people's kids. I'm not saying what he did is right. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm not worried about your kid watching me. It's not my job to be their role model. It's my job to get on this field and play. And that's how I make my money. And if you don't like what I did, then maybe your kid shouldn't be watching.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I feel. I think we give them too much credit for their role in society. They're people. And they just happen to hit the lottery and making millions of dollars for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They're not important. And if you allow that to be a centerpiece in your family, that's your own fault.
Well, Jasmine, you're looking for a perspective of being a parent.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what's wrong with society today, that we're not being parents, allowing people like this where we have to be aware of how people are performing in television, because maybe there's not a lot of parents parenting.
Would it have been different if it wasn't Kelsey? And if it was another player?
I think it would be if it was someone like a Lamar Jackson.
No, but I'm talking about just a player from the Chief. If it wasn't Kelsey, if it was just maybe the wide receiver, just felt like that.
I think it would have been different.
Yeah,
it
because
would have been different.
because he and Taylor Swift, the media darlings, and if it was someone else, and I get you,
he probably would have gotten benched.
If they would have lost the game, think about if they would have lost the game. Now the media is going to be like, oh my goodness, like
that would be
is there something going on back there? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It got squashed altogether.
Right.
My opinion. But
yeah.
Can I just say one thing about Jasmine's comment? I agree with you about parenting. Don't get me wrong, but there are so many kids that don't have parents like yourself at home. They don't have, and it's not their fault. They see what they see. Whether it's entertainment, whether videos, video games, all this stuff, and that kids see that shit. I think adults need to do a better job, especially when you're making bazillions of dollars off of kids buying your stuff and watching your stuff. Right? They need to do a better job in some instances.
Yeah. Well,
my opinion.
No, it's good. I mean, at the end of the day, I think, like I said, he was definitely wrong for doing it, but he didn't. Nothing happened, so it's like there's not much we can even.
And Malcolm Butler got benched one time, right? Because whatever happened before the Super Bowl.
Because I think him and Belichick got into
I mean,
it.
could you imagine if would he get in Belichick's face like
and
that?
And that's where again, when I spoke when Jimmy D was in here, the different athletes that we have today, they're not held accountable, even if it's on the field or how they act, because they're making so much money. I think when you're a professional athlete, you're more like, people are so enamored with the word athlete versus professional.
Right.
And professional comes with some type of accountability, and you got to act like a professional. You could be
because they have a platform too.
You had that platform.
He could have easily been at least fined by the team.
Yeah.
For pushing
they'll never do that because Taylor Swift makes them so much money, and they don't want to piss him off where he wants to leave.
Yeah,
trust me.
Oh yeah,
this is all a money thing because Taylor Swift, like, if they have a course at Harvard about her.
Yeah,
and literally what they've noticed is that whatever game she shows up to, she doesn't just make the team more money. She changes the entire economy in the city.
Yeah.
She has a
just
cult
because
following.
she's there.
Yeah.
No.
So like, if you think for a second, I mean,
I don't even think they're gonna be with each other next year.
I don't see. I don't think that'd be in his best interest. She's a billionaire. She don't need that man.
Oh no, she don't.
But did you see the comment that somebody made though? They were like, if nobody can see why she's with him, he just won. What was it, like $600,000? They were like, she makes that in her sleep.
Yeah.
Like this is not because she needs this
Money. It's not money.
It's him. If anything, it's him who needs her.
Oh yeah,
without
definitely.
her,
his brand
he
is
would
coming
not have
up.
gotten away with this.
I actually think the relationship is genuine. Beyond.
I do think it's genuine, but I'm saying I do not think he would have gotten away with this bold move
if he wasn't
for her. I think they let things slide.
There's an argument
because of her, because she is creating wealth in their organization.
She brought
their whole city.
A lot of
There's a lot of women who ain't never gave a rat's ass about football buying tickets because they're hoping to cross paths with this woman.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of guys even who are like,
big.
oh, I'm better looking than him. Like, people got weird dreams.
Right.
They think too highly of themselves.
But a lot of people don't know, Travis Kelce is highly regarded in the black community because he dated a lot of black girls.
I didn't know that. Like,
he did. The girl.
Oh yeah.
Kelsey.
He did a lot of. He done a lot of black girls. This is when he dated.
Started laying
like
they were models too.
Like Taylor Swift. They're like, that's way different.
They literally had a picture of his last girlfriend and Taylor Swift. They were like, "This is a board. This is a woman. What do you see?" And one of them, somebody was like, "Easy, billions of dollars, OnlyFans."
Yeah. But yeah, I digress. So, go ahead. What else you got for us, D?
I just wanted to touch upon the aftermath of the parade in Kansas City.
Yes.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yeah.
Because I don't follow football like that. But did they ever say, or do they have the guy and know why he chose to shoot it into the crowd? Was there like a target?
Yeah. So they believe that it wasn't them going after people in the parade. It was like a dispute with people that were at the parade.
Right.
Oh, so it was just people going at it.
Going at it. And then they started.
Right.
Like two guys had beef with each other.
So let's shoot up the crowd.
And
that's smart.
Ignorant. N-word shit.
So that's why it's not. That's why it's not.
It is what it is, Jasmine.
It is what it is. But
let's call for what it is, yo. We're gonna call our people out, yo. Go ahead.
So listen, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I don't even know what race they are. Do you know?
If it's something to do with that, it's N-word shit, yo.
I
could be wrong, and I'll be ignorant to it, but it's N-word shit.
So I didn't get. I have all these tabs open, like reading all this shit.
They didn't say no names, no nothing.
They
just have 3 suspects.
I'm assuming,
and that's it.
No, they have 2. They arrested 3. They let 1 go because they realized he wasn't part of it. So 2 of them are in custody.
Okay.
They're 18 years old. They probably get tried as adults.
Even stupider. So they're young idiots.
Yeah, but the thing is, the weapons they had.
Yeah, so I'm getting to that. Right now.
Oh, okay. Doesn't make sense.
So, I want to know, because this is. I can never find this on the internet. Is it legal handguns or not? They never want to tell you if it's legal firearms or not.
Right.
I'm guessing that it's not, because when it is legal, they'll let you know.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Right. Yep.
Right. If someone's shooting with a legal gun, they're gonna let you know, because that's gonna be their argument for gun control.
Right. Of course.
When it's not legal guns.
Oh yeah, they don't want you to know that people will get their hands on guns on the street, because that would shoot down their whole argument of gun control.
So I do have a problem with gun control, but this right here, there were 800 police officers at this parade, which is great, right? We want to keep people safe.
Can you switch the background, please? Go ahead.
However, though, 800 people, they're all over the place. You never know where someone has a gun.
Right.
There was 1 million people at the parade. This was the 48th mass shooting of the year, and we're like on day 40
in Kansas,
42.
Or just in the United country. States. Okay.
So a mass shooting is determined by 4 people getting shot.
Right, and it was 10.
That's what they call a mass shooting. Yes. So we've already had 48 of them in our country, which is sad.
Right.
I don't think.
There was just one in a church. recently too.
Oh yeah. Oh, Joel Osteen's church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel Osteen. Good old Joel Osteen got shot up in this.
Yep. They're winning there. Yeah.
So let me just give you a couple more points, and you
Yep.
guys can like chit chat. In Kansas City is one of 9 cities that is targeted by the U.S. Department of Justice to crack down on because it's so violent with
Yeah.
guns.
Okay.
They're the 9th highest state with Missouri.
Problems.
Yeah, with
Right.
guns. So I mean, this just goes back to like more like gun shit, more gun control,
Right.
background checks, and all that stuff.
Hey, do they sell guns over there too though?
They're wicked lenient.
Oh, okay.
They're wicked lenient over there.
So there's gun shops and everything. You can.
Yeah. I think in Missouri, I think I read today, and I couldn't believe my eyeballs. I'm like, you can buy a gun without a permit.
Yeah, but so my only argument with that is you can buy guns without permits just a few hours north of us in like Vermont and Maine and stuff, and they have like some of the lowest. I lived in Virginia where again you don't really need permits and stuff, and I'll tell you, yeah, there are areas in Virginia that have high crime, but also the crime necessarily isn't always like murder and stuff. It's like a lot more people are less likely to go out looking for that type of trouble if they know there's a chance that majority of the people are armed.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I feel like sometimes the more gun control, the less control you have because
Chicago.
the bad people get all the guns.
Guns anyway, right?
And then the good people are like left with like no choice. You're like, well, I hope it doesn't happen to me, and if it does,
Chicago has like the strictest gun laws, and they're
I
like
know.
the most shots
Right.
fired. Like
Chirac.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think Berto's like over there just waiting to like say something.
I'm just saying
because
I've
there's
lived
a
in
little bit
multiple
context.
states.
because those violent crimes are mainly done in the streets,
right?
More than your people that are trying to protect their house.
That's what I'm saying.
It's totally
there's a different context of that because now you're dealing with different type of environment. It's when you're dealing with drug related or street issues where you're going against each other,
right?
Intimidation.
But those are
factor.
illegal guns.
They are. So where are these legal guns coming from? It's easy to get legal guns when your gun laws are very less restrictive.
No, but I'm saying most of the people that are committing crimes are not going in. Even if they don't need permits.
But it's not about the people that's committing crimes. It's about the access of guns.
I understand that. But the people that are accessing the guns, it's like statistically proven that they're not going to gun shops. Even if there's no record, they're
black
not
market.
going to gun shops for guns.
Yeah, definitely
black
market.
Actually, there is a huge documentary. Like there's multiple witnesses, and the government has been caught doing this. In Chicago, there's train tracks where the kids for decades were like, what are you talking about? They don't get the guns from gun stores. You just go to the train tracks on certain days and there's trunks of guns. And nobody would believe people in Chicago about this until it started getting more.
No, I agree.
But like the government, though, this is the government. The government gets the trains. They have the guys on the trains and they drop guns off in the hood on the train tracks for these kids to pick up and go kill each other.
Because it's everybody's hustling. It's just basically what he's doing. And that's why it's not necessarily when I look at gun laws, I think it's not just the what we see as far as when people are purchasing guns. Gun laws as far as the shipment of it, the access of it, of houses coming into the state. How, like is it being monetized or recorded in the way it's coming in the states? Yeah, we can go into a state and you could come in Massachusetts and a way in Massachusetts will drop our case over here. And you don't know what's going on. Yeah, we have great gun laws in Massachusetts, but we as human beings, and I always use this excuse that we as human beings, we are flawed individuals. We are greedy. We are lust. We have all the things that. So if it's an access of making money and I have an access to say, I'm going to drop off this case. So, and these guns hit the street. Why is that? How is it that easy?
But isn't that like bad people doing bad things?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's almost like that's why we need stricter gun laws because
but then you're hurting the good people because now we have less access to protect. Like, so I'm gonna say this as a woman, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you guys a story, okay? I was in college, okay? Yeah. and I'm in a predominantly white city. Okay. People always assume I'm Spanish. That's just what, especially when my hair was real long. Okay. I'm at a train station waiting for my friend to get in from Connecticut. There's one light above me. It's dark everywhere else. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Newton Center.
No, I haven't, but go ahead.
So it's a sketchy little area for a rich town.
Mm-hmm.
It's not well lit up. It's not what it should be because most people there are not getting off the train at 10 o'clock at night. They're home in their mansions. Okay. I'm sitting there and I wish that I had a gun because I was going to get raped if I did not have a weapon. And luckily I had a knife and I'm wild enough to use it. Okay. I literally had two white guys come up to the side of my door and I could hear them whispering because I had my window open a little bit. And I hear one of them say, "Doors open, grab her."
Wow.
And all of a sudden my door flung open and I grabbed my knife. Now, what the hell is this going to do if they overpower me? But a good shot will make you back up.
True.
A good shot will put you down. And that's what I'm doing like a dog because you are not, if I have anything to say, you are not taking me out of
And to be honest with you, she ain't lying because I have evidence of.
No, like,
but I'm gonna leave that. Let's say don't
I'm
fuck
just
with
saying,
her.
like,
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like it's good people. Like now, okay, for now, let's take that example and make it. They're the ones with the guns. They're the ones with the, and I'm the innocent bystander, right?
Yeah.
People don't realize that stuff like this happens more often than not, but sometimes people get lucky. We get out of it. We don't become a victim, right? And I hate to say victim because it sounds so negative, but like I could have became a statistic that night. Somebody who was alone or what did she do, right? But I was wild enough to be like, my dad taught me how to fight. Like, I'm not going, like, it was my first instinct. Like, you guys were talking about football. It was my first instinct to not. Like, I would absolutely not, right? But if those guys had a gun, what was I going to do? And what if, whether it was legal, illegal, like, if they had a gun, I was going to be the odd man out. Yeah. Even with a knife, right? So, like, you have to look at it for what it is. Bad people do bad things. And when you limit the good people's abilities to protect themselves, you are putting us at such a disadvantage. Like, and I was back then, I was like 18, 19. So I couldn't even legally own a gun, right?
Right.
So, and even that, like, I know in other states, like they have different laws. Like, kids can have shotguns or what, like, just depends on the type of gun it is, right? And like,
did they say what kind of gun was it? They didn't.
I didn't get that.
They won't release that either, especially if it's illegal guns.
Yeah,
they don't want you knowing because then it makes them look bad about. But like that point is like it doesn't matter what kind of gun. If bad people have access and good people don't, because bad people will always have access. Bad people aren't waiting for permission. They're not going to the gun store to pick up a gun. They don't want you to know they have the gun, so they're going to the street.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah.
But don't you feel like I think it's not necessarily. I believe people should own guns. I don't want to completely take away people's rights to own firearms. But when you have different states have different laws, I think that this leaves so much of holes in there. Like, I think it should be a full national law gun.
That I do agree with. I think that's to federal level.
At least that.
Yeah.
I don't want to I don't believe in take away people's right to bear arms. I don't believe in that. But I think that it should be a federal mandate that all states should abide by.
I actually don't think it should be federal. I think it should be, because I feel like the federal government, when you give them too much power, like they try to take away people's rights. They try to strip us of stuff sometimes. I think that's the only thing saving our gun rights right now is that because each state has a say versus like the overall federal, like coming in and saying, these are the rules and we're going to make it this hard. Like,
but isn't it part of the Constitution that your right to bear arms?
Yes. But again, like you said, what Trump said, I never said I would protect, like whatever. Right.
Yeah.
Like, so you have people with different ideas. Right. And as we've noticed, 2025 is probably going to get a little worse. Like, things are just going down, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is, I think the state should all come together and have like their own pact of like, these are what we're going to do. This is how we're going to function. And this is the laws that we're setting up that, everybody can own a gun and travel and stuff. But these are the rules and the laws across the board. instead of letting the
But that's what
federal-
I'm saying. If we have a federal, that federal is meaning like all the states,
No,
the
yeah, I
Congress,
get what
all
you're
come
saying.
together and agree with a federal mandate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just say one. You can't say, oh, the president says this is a federal mandate, like a federal mandate for gun law. You got to have Congress, which means each representative.
That would have to be
upon it.
strictly like somebody. There would have to be a way better checks and balance system. Because I
Yeah.
feel like anytime you give up that state level, sometimes you get really restricted.
Well, I think it should be a state level type of policy in Congress, and then the president signs it. Just some type of gun law it's not going to be perfect.
No,
it's not going to stop everything, but it could limit. We got 48 mass shootings, and we're only in the month of February.
I mean,
like there's got to be something done.
Listen,
there's got to be change. Something.
Listen.
Okay.
My thing is, drugs are illegal.
Yeah.
Fentanyl is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Drugs are all over the place. Yeah, it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with guns. If you make guns illegal or wicked, the bad guys still get guns.
But why is the fentanyl list not illegal? As bad as it is.
What do you mean? Why isn't it
why?
legal?
Like, and I'm just reading this book on Know Your Why, so I'm on this why shit. Because you're not gonna understand. You're not gonna make correct solutions until you know your.
Well, because it kills people.
No, why is it? Why isn't it? Like, we'll go. You use fentanyl as an example. Why is it fentanyl illegal?
It is illegal.
It is illegal.
But you can prescribe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pain. No, so here's the thing. I don't know if you guys have had surgery lately or anything. I did with my accident. Fentanyl itself, like by itself, manages pain.
Yeah.
Can be addictive, but like I'll tell you right now, like they had me hopped up on that stuff and I did not feel anything.
Yeah.
Like it didn't. What's bad about it is the way people are cutting it in the street, what they're adding to it.
Right.
Fentanyl itself, actually, the touch of it doesn't kill you. It's this other molecule that's so close to fentanyl, but it's like a cutting agent. And that is the thing that.
And that's where I think that when fentanyl came into play, we were, as a people, as a government, weren't aware of it. We allow it get to a point where it came crazy.
But the government does that. That's their whole MO, right? Like,
yeah, but even cocaine. It's illegal, but it's all over the place.
Yeah.
So my point is with guns is like it's illegal and it's all over the place because bad people will do bad things.
Yeah.
Same thing with guns. You can limit the access. Listen, make it stricter. Do background checks. Do mental health checks. I'm fine with
that. Put that up for me.
Yeah, like you said, background check.
Yeah, they can do more.
Oh, Becky. Yeah, they need to do some serious background checks and mental health evaluations.
Yeah.
Something.
I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not want to take away people's rights. I don't believe in that. But as times change, we got to adjust with the times. As problems change into people, we had to adjust.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I do feel, and I don't have these numbers in front of me. However, the mass shootings or the people that do bad things with guns that are licensed gun owners, they have mental health problems.
Yeah.
By and large. So if we could do more background checks and that cuts down on those fatalities, that's 100% win right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But most 99.999% of legal gun owners don't go shooting.
No.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, and yeah, I agree. So I that's why I feel like it should be a federal mandate. This is why it's harder to get a driver's license than to get a gun license in most states.
Or what about just like the overall, like I think the problem is that a lot of people see like these mass shooters, like people who have that thought in their head.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, he got given Burger King after he shot up, or like they see that there's no like consequence, like there's no like serious consequence.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, you just went into a crowd and shot people. I don't think you should be leaving that crowd alive. I think on site you should be shot. I don't care if it's mental health. I don't care. Why are we taking chances with these people?
I told you, people, don't mess with her, yo.
No, like I know, like this is.
I'm trying to tell you, don't mess with Jasmine.
Why
yo.
does this person get like? I don't know if you guys saw the one, and I love that you brought this up. I don't know if you guys saw the video. There was a black officer in Texas. He heard shots happening as he was talking to a woman and her children in a Texas plaza. Okay. This man did not even hesitate. It had to have been like 100 degrees that day. He starts running. and he gets his gun, like his actual like rifle, like his rifle, and he just goes running to he hears it, he's calling it in, he's like, I can hear it this way, everybody clear. He's real life saving people, and it's gut wrenching because it's like, if there was just somebody else there that had a gun,
right,
like a sane person who was a carrier of legal capacity that had a gun, would that guy have been able to wreak as much havoc, right? Because like I think of those things, like every time something like this happens. Like, I'm not saying everybody has a gun should be a hero. If you're not confident, don't do it.
But that's what I get you, and I'm actually I'm on the fence with this, because if everyone has a guns, we are in the old Wild West, because it gets to a point where some people are just not responsible to have a gun.
I'm not saying everybody should have a gun. I'm saying that like the ones that do, that prove themselves to be worthy. And if we're going to talk about mental health checks, it can't be just one psychiatrist, because I'm sorry, I work in the social work field. Some psychiatrists ain't the best.
True.
There should be a panel.
And I think that it should be an annual thing. Like an annual health checkup every 2-3 years, where you have to go through another pre-registration type thing.
Can I read something?
Go ahead.
That a police officer just sent me.
All right.
Highly respected police officer.
All right, go ahead.
He sent me a graph. I probably need to get my glasses on, but this is what he said. The majority of mass shootings are done with a handgun, not an assault rifle, but the government wants to totally eliminate assault rifles when they are not really the issue.
True.
You have to ask yourself why.
Because again, there's not 100% solution. There's not a solution that's going to create 100%. But if you're going to have mass shootings with a handgun versus that may kill a few people, then a gun that could kill multiple people.
Those guns can't kill. So that is such a, I'm sorry, love you long time, but those guns do not shoot. Well, you know, I use that. Shut up. Like those guns do not shoot any more than the handgun that person has. They're semi-automatics,
but they have the capacity of the magazine.
No. I can put a extended magazine on a handgun. I can literally buy illegal extended magazines that hang a foot out of my handgun.
Then maybe it's not the guns. Maybe it's the selling of the magazines and bullets.
But you can get that off. You can get that on the streets too.
Yeah.
It's illegal. Anything illegal you can get on the streets.
Yeah.
Oh, then we got to do something.
You know what
we have to do?
We need to stop taking prisoners. I'm not saying you just kill people, but if somebody is actively shooting, they should not be able to leave that site. They have done their damage and they're done.
Then y'all off the chain judgment.
No, that's like I believe the same thing.
No, but I mean, if they get caught,
I'm not disagreeing with you, but damn, saying that from a female usually won't say that.
No, I believe that. Like, I believe if you're in a crowd and you just open fire, you are not a sane human being. You do not deserve to walk away. So and so, the father, the mother, the kid you just killed didn't get to walk away. Why do you get to? What due process is there? We know you did it. We're watching you shoot these people.
I agree.
It's a crime, but if they get caught, they get caught.
No, but the difference is that a lot of these guys, and I hate to say this, but a lot of them are white men, and they get to walk away. They get to walk away when you have black kids who have who have a Skittles pack and are walking into their own neighborhood who don't get to walk away.
Yeah, but these kids that did it and the chieftains, they were black.
I'm not talking about even them.
They lucky to be alive
no.
because they could have easily.
But when she's talking about, when you look at the percentage of the 48
of course.
mass shootings, how many of the mass shootings are probably, the major mass shootings? Because the mass shooting could be 3 or more, 4 or more.
4 or more.
4 people shot.
But I'm just talking about people, even those guys. Why did they get to walk? I think if you are in a crowd and you are lighting it up, regardless of why you did it, why you came there today, whatever it is, you are not a normal, sane person. There's something wrong
to take somebody's
with you.
life. Y'all fucked up.
And there's plenty of times where I'm like, okay, I can see why you might have taken somebody's life.
Yeah.
But you are just shooting into a crowd.
But let me ask you, Jasmine, as a gun owner, as a gun carrier, literally, I understand that in the midst of the moment, if you protect yourself, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. But in your mind, are you thinking about taking a life?
If it's my life or this,
no, you just to protect yourself. For you, you're a gun carrier.
yep.
Do you point where it's like, if I gotta use my gun, your first mindset is I'm gonna take a life.
Yeah, if I feel I have to pull my gun out, it's
But that's your
still-
first mindset, or is it your first mind? I'm gonna protect you. Like you could still protect yourself without taking a life. I don't think y'all. I don't think you're pulling a gun saying, "I'm gonna take your life."
Yeah, no. If I how my brain works, and this is how anybody who owns a gun brain should work. You only are taking that gun out if it is your life or theirs. There is if you're just in a fight and you think you're gonna get into a scuffle, that's not a pull the gun out type situation.
Okay.
We're gonna scuffle. Well, you might beat my ass, I might beat your ass, but somebody's gonna lose and somebody's gonna win. Now, if I'm getting ready to fight you and you start wielding a knife, well, baby boy, you should have brought a bigger gun or something, because don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You're not stabbing me, because if you stab me, look at what happened to Will. Yeah. After the fight, that kid could have ended his life.
Yeah.
I'm not saying then he should have opened up fire in a club, but I'm saying if you for 1 second think that your life is going to end, I never fault you for pulling out your gun. If you actually are fearing for your life. Yeah. However, if it's just a fight.
But when you take out that gun.
In Massachusetts.
I'm pointing it. I'm pointing it. For me, if I'm a gunman, I'm pointing out a gun. I'm not looking at to take your life. I'm just looking to protect.
I promise you will go to jail for the rest of your life.
But if me protecting myself is taking your life, but that's not my intent. No, my intent is to shoot.
No,
is to shoot
go.
You.
All right. So can I just tell you something? If you shoot somebody in the leg in Massachusetts, it was not a good enough reason to shoot them in the first place. You will go to jail for the rest of your life.
All right. See, then that's something we got to adjust to.
No, but I think that's right though. You should not pull your gun out unless it is that situation.
I just don't believe in another human taking a new human life. I don't care what's going on.
Even if it's your life or their life, you think you're
because it don't have to be your life. It could just be.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
they so you don't think though.
Trying to rob you.
But you don't think though.
They're not trying to kill you.
Okay.
So you have the
then
right.
You just give up your stuff. Why would you pull your? If you think they're just trying to rob you,
because you have the right to protect yourself.
I understand.
And protect your valuables.
But you do realize, even in Massachusetts, even if you have a right to protect yourself, you will go to jail before that guy does.
That's a problem too. That's a problem.
What's the purpose of having the gun?
Because when my life is in danger, I need it.
Yeah, but
when it's
what is
not,
danger?
How you gonna know if you're getting robbed? To me, that would feel like
if someone's in your house. At night, they shouldn't be in your house.
No, but okay.
But if you're being robbed and just want your belongings,
if they say just give me your shit,
no, okay.
So no, you
can't.
can't.
At my house.
What was that?
Somebody tried to break in my house when I was home. I pulled my shit out, went outside, opened the door. I'm shooting. I'm not asking questions.
Right.
Could have went to jail though. In Massachusetts,
in that circumstance, I completely agree. No, but if somebody's robbing you, I think that has the same premise of what somebody's robbing your house. They're still trying to rob you, your personal belongings. So the right should be the same.
Yes, if you feel your life is in danger, like I said, if you feel and you can justify that your life was in danger, it's not for me to decide. Right. Did you honestly feel your life was in danger? If the answer is yes, you take that gun out and do what you got to do. But you should not be taking your gun out going, let me tell you why. I know too many people who did things, right? And then retaliation comes and knocks on their door, and guess who gets got?
True.
Not the guy who you shot in the leg trying to just save yourself. The guy who got up and got back up and came for you.
Yeah, either or. Because if you shoot somebody, you can still retaliate. If you got crazy friends or crazy uncles.
See, that's all that retaliating goes back to the culture of guns,
right?
And we got to change.
But that's not the culture of guns. That's the ghetto people who don't.
But that's the culture. That's American culture. Let's call it for what it is. It's not like there's very. I think there is a very minority group of people who are honest gun owners, and there is a lot of responsible gun owners.
Yeah,
but we're living in an age where we're not even responsible parents. Never mind gun owners. So we have to adjust in society today. And if it adds on more,
but these people that are doing bad are not gun
people.
Owners.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but the point is,
Legally,
the people
at
that are
least.
doing the bad aren't like
That's not gonna
like
stop.
Joe
Right, that's not.
just said they're not legal gun owners, so
They're
it
not
doesn't
legal
matter.
gun
We're
owners.
talking.
They just
So here's
regular
the problem
gun
with the
holders.
gun
They just
reform.
gun holders, not
No,
gun owners.
But here's the problem with the gun reform, and when people cry, "We need better gun laws," right? You're not affecting the bad guys. None of this gun
Right.
law
No,
protects
no,
us.
no, exactly.
It
Ever.
hurts us.
Right,
the
right.
owners that are legal and carry
Right, did
to
it the right
protect
way?
themselves.
Yeah, did it the right way to have a
Yeah.
gun.
I don't leave. I can't tell you. I don't leave my house without my gun 99.9% of the time.
And she ain't fucking around because I seen it.
and the thing is, every day I leave, I know where it is. I know what's in the I know about my gun, and
Right.
I will. My thought is, if the time comes and I have to protect me or mine, I have it. Until then, it is safe. I don't flash it around.
Yeah, but that's
you
what
don't
I'm
even
saying.
know
So now
where.
your point was that, going back to the Kansas City thing, if you had your gun on you, you would have tried to shoot.
If I was
this person.
if I was close enough and I was not at risk of hurting somebody else and I felt my life was in danger, I'm going to save myself.
Okay,
and others.
But right, but when that's happening, you will want to be that hero to try to stop.
No, I don't want to be a hero. I just want to go home tonight.
All right.
So Joe, listen, I agree with you in the sense, because I do feel, we potentially need more honest, legal gun owners that potentially step up and help police officers that are not
something
there.
like that.
Something
Right.
like that.
Something
If
like
someone's shooting crazy and you see someone killing people and they're just going around going to kill more people, I have no problem with a legal gun owner taking out their
right
thing
and doing what
bang,
he got to do. Exactly.
If you
day.
can live with yourself, maybe Birdo can't.
Right.
Like some people can't take a life, and that's fine.
Right.
But if you're someone that can and you're good at it,
Right.
dude, by all means, help out society.
Yeah, hands down, something like that.
And when I say help out, don't let them wake up and go home, even in a wheelchair. I'm sorry.
I mean, but you don't know them.
Y'all are savage.
So,
yo.
let me just end with this, guys. I know we're gonna move on.
We gotta go on.
But let me just say this last piece. If you want to do something to help this cause, there's so many people out there that get caught with guns. Why are they back on the streets?
Oh yeah, that's
so. Why don't we look at the court system, the liberal judges out there that puts these guys or women or whoever with gun violations
back on the streets.
Back on the streets.
Yeah, to do the same.
Hello, why are we not building more jails?
Not even building more jails. Take the weed dealers out and put the damn criminals away.
100%. So, what do we got next? I'm done. We can.
My beat about to drop.
That was a good one.
Yo, Pete,
that was a good one.
Back to this.
I'm about to drop that beat. Yo, what we doing? What we doing? The savage Jasmine in the know. The savage. What you got for us, girl?
All right. So, in the spirit of Black History Month.
Oh yeah.
I have some facts that I want to show. Tell. So, over 3,000 African Americans served on New Bedford's whaling ships between 1803 to 1860.
Oh,
well,
say that again.
Not Cape Verde, African Americans. Okay. 3,000 African Americans served on New Bedford whaling ships between 1803 and 1860. Okay, so New Bedford became a city in 1837. 16,000 residents. Of those 16,000, 1,047 were African American. Of the 400 fugitive slaves, 400 of them were fugitive slaves. So let that just sink in. People, they always say that people left the South, but they don't really say where they went and where they got jobs, right? They just like, oh, Harriet Tubman brought them somewhere. They do. They kind of forget all the rest, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I guess, a lot of people do know this one, but I think some people forget. Frederick Douglass called New Bedford his first home after slavery in Maryland. He was key to helping with like the abolitionist, thank you, movement with President Lincoln and Andrew Johnson. So he was, but he considered this to be his first home because before it wasn't home when you were forced to be there. And And then the Freedom Trail led here due to the whaling, large amount of immigrant population, and it was appealing due to the volume of work and jobs. So a lot of the slaves down south knew that coming to New Bedford was almost like a guarantee in getting a job. The ships, they didn't care who you were, what you were. They needed people to go out there and do those dangerous jobs, and they were giving everybody a job. And then you know the statue in front of the library of the gentleman holding a harpoon?
Yeah.
Do you guys know who that is?
No.
Oh, that's sad. You don't know who that is?
That is sad.
You're gonna tell me.
So his name is Lewis Temple. He is a former slave. He was elected by the New Bedford Union Society vice president. And he was the one who invented the toggle iron and the harpoon with the 2-part points. He is the guy who revolutionized the harpoons so they stuck in the whales.
Really?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he killed Moby Dick?
Yeah. He gave them that little tweak to the harpoon to like make it so it went in the blubber and didn't come back out.
Wow.
So that was an African American slave who made that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And you think about it, New Bedford is still the largest port for fish and fishing industry. And if you think about it, would it be that without that harpoon?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that harpoon made it everything it is, but think about the history that was made because they were able to catch more, and it was done here.
Right.
So how ahead of the industry were they when he invented that here?
Here, right.
Like that, if you think about it, he propelled
What year was that?
like that. I don't even know the year. I forgot to write that down, so I apologize. But yeah, I just, think about that. Like this man might have made the port down there what it is.
Oh,
yeah.
Good to know. What was his name again?
Lewis Temple.
Lewis.
I'm glad he's got a statue.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of
And
things
that's like
around
the logo
city.
too, kind of New Bedford.
What?
Ain't it? That's not the logo.
No,
I've seen him a
no.
lot. I know what you're saying.
The harpoons are the logo. Yeah, the harpoons.
Because of the whaling industry, but I think I see that too around.
Yeah, I see it
Yeah.
a lot. So.
Yeah.
But so he's right in front of the library.
No, yeah, I know.
Downtown.
I know. Now I put two.
New Bedford's rich in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, bad, indifferent. I mean, it's got its name.
Yeah. So that's all I had for In the Know this week.
Cool.
All right.
Good stuff.
That was good.
It was so good. You was on your phone the whole time.
No, I was listening.
Great.
I was trying to get some.
Great.
I was trying to get some information on what you were saying, but I couldn't find it. But I can multitask, Jazz.
Nah, I don't.
Jazz is a savage, yo. Jazz is savage.
Just coming for your neck today.
All right, we're gonna get into the entertainment. Do you want to get into the rabbit hole?
Yeah, we can do that real quick.
Oh, let's get into the rabbit hole right now. The savage again, Jasmine, bringing us down the rabbit hole. I want to know rabbit hole she got breaking down now.
Y'all know the show American Horror Stories?
Yes.
Okay. You know how they like loosely base every single season off of some American horror story that like actually happened to some degree?
Yeah, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you guys remember the one where they were in New Orleans with the witches and the voodoo and the French Quarter? All right.
Nope.
Great. So there is a woman named Marie Delphine McCarty, and she was Madame Laurel or something. I suck at pronouncing her name, but she was a socialite in New Orleans, and she was a big part of American Horror Story that season.
Mm-hmm.
She literally was a socialite who turned serial killer.
Oh wow!
So she was very wealthy, but that wasn't enough for her. She often starved her slaves along with torture, and it wasn't just like regular, like let me starve you over there. No, she would bring them to the attic. She would chain them up, sometimes like in the cross position with torture devices attached to them. She would mutilate them. She'd have them wear spiked collars. She'd whip them. She would often I've heard some, again, getting the facts on her, everything she did is kind of hard, because what happened was at one point she was the city itself, like, and the judges, they said she was not allowed to own slaves anymore because of an incident where she chased a little girl up to the top floor in the attic space and she fell out of a window, and it was because she was trying to torture the little girl.
Damn.
So the neighbors and people were like, like, they're slaves, but like you gotta get your shit together, like stop, like you gotta stop. So they actually banned her. But what she did was she convinced people to buy her slaves, like her family members, to buy her more slaves, sneak them in the house up to the attic so she could torture them. Well, they found out just how bad it was when the house burnt down. The slaves were upstairs in the attic that were like still alive but being tortured. And literally, like, the people had, like, they had no idea the extent of this woman's like deranged behavior until they saw the torture chambers. I mean, they said anything and anything you could think of that is just the most inhumane treatment to somebody. I mean, there's even talk that she would drain the slaves' babies' blood and then use it to stay youthful.
Jeez.
Yeah, like she was a horrible, horrible person. So with that being said, this is why slavery on the other side, like just like the cruelness that the hatred would produce, right? Because we only think about plantation owners.
Mm-hmm.
We only think about how they treated the slaves. But if you think about it, like, they also weren't being stuffed in hot attics that get to like 100 and something degrees in the summer, and having their penises cut off, or their just whatever it was that she wanted to do, she did it.
And what year was this also now?
I have to look that up again. I'm sorry. That part wasn't interesting to me. I was just reading all this, and I was like, so I knew about her because of, like, I had a Haitian teacher in high school. So I remember during Black History Month, he had brought her up briefly. So I knew about this before American Horror Story because, again, he's Haitian, right? The French Quarter, a lot of Haitians, a lot of history there. So I knew about it then, but like just reading her, like she even had she had a slave chained to the kitchen. That's how the fire started. The neighbors found the horror and chased her out of New Orleans after that. Like, she was not welcome. They were like, absolutely not. Like, you're way past the point of slavery at this point. Like, there's something wrong with you.
That's crazy though.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That's a rabbit hole.
Yo, you bring us down the rabbit hole, man.
And, where was this at?
New Orleans. Down south. She was just out there hacking people. New Orleans.
All right, I need to decompress. We're gonna. That's a lot. All right, we're gonna get into entertainment news, Joe. I need you to spend a little bit of time on your shit. Let's get into it. We got the music and entertainment news with Broadway Joe.
Well, first of all, want to congratulations to the Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl, their second back-to-back.
Was it scripted?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about it, see what the people feel, think. And it was a good Super Bowl, but now a lot of people started just seeing it and reading about it. A lot of people are starting to feel like the NFL is the new WWE, and it's all script and fixed. Me being I've been watching football for a very long time, and sometimes, to me, my opinion, it does look scripted and fixed. There's just certain things that, as you watch the game as it goes along, you sometimes could just see where things are just changing, where things are just falling into place. What you think?
I want to believe that it's not, but when gambling gets more involved now, when you have these fantasy leagues and the money that is progressing within, you have to question it.
Right.
I think that the score of the score of the Super Bowl was a score that was very rarely could achieve, and for so happened it did achieve when it came to like the over and under.
Right.
Um,
Which is that one point that
is
was
that one point?
missed.
Because usually when you score, you get an extra point. But because it was at the end of the game, they didn't do the extra point because they didn't have to, because that's who won the game. But every other score has an extra point. So
Well, that and the block field goal.
the block field goal also
That's the extra point that could have
change the dynamic, not even the game itself, but the betting odds.
Yeah, right.
So I get where you're looking at it, where it's like, is this scripted or is it? I don't know.
Yeah, that it's tough. But you could, like, for me, it's like just watching the 49ers, the way they were just dominating that game. Then the fourth quarter, they were barely tackling. It just started looking like two-hand touch out there. Kelsey being open, I don't know how this guy's open 24/7
He wasn't open all game into the fourth quarter.
to the fourth quarter.
So it's
just certain things.
I get it. I want
Like who did it, and now they on the coach for picking the ball first on the halftime. I mean, not halftime.
See, this is
overtime.
where we had with Jimmy D, and as far as being prepared,
Yeah.
where
I wanted to
like
bring
that's what something would have happened with a Bill Belichick team,
Right.
Because there was players that actually said throughout the week they didn't know the playoff rules. They thought it was like the regular, like it was like sudden death. But how do you not know? Your job is to be a professional football player,
Right?
And part of that being a professional, know the rules, and as a part of being a coach is to make sure your players know the rules.
I had a really snarky comment for that.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I feel like, how often do they make it to the?
But it's you had 2 weeks to prepare for this one
they
game.
should know. But
yeah, that's just
a Bill Belichick team that would never.
Oh no,
Bill
right.
Belichick makes it almost.
But I'm saying, like, even who didn't think the Chiefs were not gonna score after these guys score? I knew it. Like, I smelt it.
Yeah.
Once the 49ers kicked that field goal to go up 3 points.
You're talking about in overtime?
Overtime.
Yeah.
It just, like, I just sensed it.
I mean, I sense it too. And I'm not defending the 49ers coach. However, I heard him say, like, the way I looked at it was, if they go down and score touchdown, if Kansas City goes down and score touchdown, they get the ball to win the game, even for a field goal.
Right.
So he was thinking, like, maybe he was like, if Belichick did this and they won, we'd be like, bang, Belichick's the man. Or if this 49ers coach did, it'd be like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Like, so he had confidence. He'd go down and score a touchdown. And even if Kansas City coming back to the same thing, he's got the ball the third time around.
Right.
Even
that's
taking
how
field
he's
goal
thinking
for the win.
I would have definitely taken the ball first. To be honest, I would have taken the ball first. If you had if you had the confidence that you were going to go down the field and score a touchdown,
but you can't score a field goal like they did, because now you're letting Mahomes score a touchdown to win the game.
Right.
Exactly. At least if Mahomes scores a touchdown or a field goal, at least you know what you need to do. And then now if you're on a third down, it's a fourth down territory. It's that's coaching.
Right. But I mean, the defense. I mean, at that time, now your defense been kind of dominating the whole game. I would have went with the 3 points and think my defense will
but
hold
he
this off.
actually said the reason why he took the ball first because his defense was gassed. I would have let Mahomes see. All right, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I would have. And then
you gave him too much time to think about.
You got the fourth down option.
So I get it. I get it. Especially with gambling, it's an intricate part of the game now.
Right.
I think gambling took away the actual product of the game.
Well, that was the other thing I saw on which Tony Romo, which I like Tony Romo. I think he has a lot of great knowledge.
I love listening.
Yeah, he's definitely got knowledge.
Wait till Brady gets on TV next year.
And he also saying, gambling makes the NFL less pure.
It does.
And I agreed with him.
It does.
And he had a nice article on it. And I felt the same.
You're not even interested in the game. You're interested in players. I've been watching games. It's like, yo, throw the so-and-so, throw the so-and-so. Why you want me to throw the so-and-so? He's not open. Yo, I got him on my fantasy.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
I was like, damn, can we just watch the game?
Right, exactly.
But the purity is gone.
Right.
Y'all like games just because you like the games. Go watch a bunch of people just playing it for fun. You
True.
Get a better game.
Well, and professional is not playing for the competition of it. Because the competition is probably the last. Usually competition was the selling point, but now it's not.
Yeah. Well, because it's also it's under entertainment.
Yeah,
it's not a sports.
Yeah,
you know. So when it's entertainment,
but whack now.
It's not whack. It's because it just sucks because it's my favorite. It's my favorite sport. It's my favorite sport. But I could see it. Me watching old school games to now. It's just I don't know. It just seems. I don't. To me, it feels certain things are just.
But that's you, Joe. Y'all
but just watching games,
like
missed tackles, like little things like that. I just.
I mean, listen. I can't sit here because I've seen a lot on Facebook, a lot of the articles about people thinking that it's fake and this is bullshit and all this. I just can't sit here and say that it's fake.
No, it's not fake.
Because you can't get all these players on board, giving up games.
No, it's always it's not the whole team though. It's only one or two players,
or the officials,
or the officials,
something. I mean,
or even the coach. The coach could call a play that's not gonna benefit or work. They know that play is not gonna work, and they could cost their game too.
I mean, someone's paying him a lot of money for him to do that.
But of course, that's what I'm saying. It's when it comes to that.
I don't watch football, but I'll tell you one thing: these dudes are trying to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
They are beating their bodies up, right? So, like, if I'm gonna beat my body up and be old and decrepit, I'm gonna go out rich. Like, I'm just saying, it ain't that serious to me. If I was, look, hey, you don't want me to catch a pass, and you're gonna pay me $3 extra million?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
that takes away the competition.
Right. And then
that's why these guys shouldn't be.
When I think it's script, I think when they say script, it just the way the Chiefs just all year with scrubs. They couldn't even catch the ball. They couldn't do nothing. Now they go on the first time ever on the road. They never went on the road. Won 3 in a row. Like, okay.
I can see why you have the perception. I get it. I get it. You want
the Bills. I think the Bills. Once they beat the Bills, I already knew they were going to the championship. I already knew it. I knew they were going to beat Miami. That was an automatic.
Oh yeah, you know that.
But the Bills, I'm like, the Bills were a better team than the Chiefs at home too.
I did like the Bills.
Anything else?
That was mainly it. Just wanted to like touch on that.
So because I know we're way past time. Did we talk about the halftime show?
Yeah, can we talk? There's 2 things I want to talk about: the halftime show and then.
Well, yeah, that's what I'll bring that up and just how y'all thought of the Usher show. I mean,
Alicia Keys sucked.
She
did that opening when she opened her mouth and that voice cracked.
Yo, do you know the AI they cleaned it up on YouTube? She don't sound that bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When she opened her mouth and she was like, I was like, "Ooh, girl."
Oh yeah, you wasn't ready.
She wasn't warmed up.
Yeah.
Her voice, she sounded like a teenage boy.
Go on YouTube. They cleaned it up. She sounds so much better.
I bet you they did because I'm telling she is actually very musically, like she is very musically talented. She can play multiple.
She's awesome.
Like but she's getting older. She don't sing often.
True.
She's not practicing her craft because she doesn't have to. She's married to Swiss Beats. He makes more than enough music to carry their marriage for the next 20 years.
He can't, but at least he's making money still. She's on The Voice and all that stuff.
Oh please, that's what people do in
there.
Yeah, I know.
That's why Usher was there for a little bit, and then he woke up and said, "Wait a minute,
I need to
get
back on the stage."
Music. Yeah, exactly.
I love Usher. And the reason why I love Usher because he sings live. One thing about that Super Bowl, he didn't lip sync nothing. And to understand like the art of entertainment, of showmanship, is you could dance, but can you sing and dance? And if you can sing and dance, that means that you're
this dancing.
Listen, that's that Usher shit. You don't know about that's that Usher shit.
I thought the show was dope. Yeah,
like he sang live and dancing and constantly dancing, constantly moving. You got to have the breath. So if you have the breath to sing live, to sound good, you have to work out. You know, that means you gotta practice your craft so you can give the best performance. And that's what I like about Usher.
Yeah.
The stuff he did on roller skates.
Yeah, the roller
No, he
skates, that
can
was dope.
listen.
Yeah,
He
that
can
was dope.
sing.
The different
I just don't
costume
know what
changes.
he was.
That's that Michael Jackson showmanship.
That's like when Genuine was still trying to do his body rolls. Like at some point, bro, you gotta find new dance moves to make you look
That's
better.
Usher, man. That's just that's that
That
shit.
it looked bad.
That's Usher. That
Nah, he was
Usher.
His
good.
voice was good, but that dance looked bad.
Yeah. If you have a chance to go see Usher live, go see him because I've seen him twice and he puts on a great show. He won't cheat you. I do. I really do.
Yeah, it's
I
good
really
show.
do. Usher.
Love
USHER. I want to add on before we go on to a music break into final thoughts. I want to talk about Jay-Z's criticism of his speech at the Grammys. Now he spoke on his speech at the Grammys about Beyonce. He mentioned Beyonce, and people were giving flack. Oh, you mentioned Beyonce because she gotten Grammys for multiple songs, but never got Album of the Year. But I think they took that part of speech and was out of context. He was using Beyonce as one of the references of his explanation of how the Grammys are not as credible as they used to be. He used an example when they first boycotted the Grammys, hip hop did, because they wouldn't put the best hip hop album on TV. He used when he was nominated for a Grammy in '98 for best hip hop album, but DMX, who had two platinum albums in that same year, wasn't even nominated.
Right.
So he was then he used Beyonce as another reference of how discredit credible the Grammys is.
Right.
Then during the whole speech, he said, "Forget about the Grammys. Keep on pushing, because sooner or later they're gonna call you chairman. As soon as they're gonna call you, they're gonna call you genius. As soon as they're gonna call you the GOAT," which he was referring to himself. So his backlash of what he like for him mentioning his wife as a reference was unfair. Where I feel like it's because Jay-Z, the billionaire, the highly successful. Oh, boo-hoo, she never got Album of the Year, but he was trying to explain the whole premises behind the Grammys. We make a big deal about this, but are they credible?
Right.
He even said that to some people that are in categories they shouldn't even be in. There's some people that's winning the award they shouldn't have won.
They're getting robbed.
And then you have someone like a person like Killer Mike who got best album of the year and it wasn't even best hip hop album of the year and it wasn't even televised.
Right. And 3 Grammys at that.
3 Grammys.
But then, like, why keep showing up? Like, why you're a billionaire? Make your own damn.
But that's the
award
thing.
show.
I think that is almost like how is the same strategy with the NFL. I'm gonna use my presence where they're gonna want my presence. I don't think they want to Killer Mike on that stage because Killer Mike is what's the word I'm looking for? He's a person that he talks to. What's that word that he's activist?
Activist, yeah,
he's an activist. So they didn't know what he was going to say.
So what?
So, but that's the reason, because he was an activist for Black culture, so they didn't want him. And Killer Mike is a very intelligent dude.
person. Yeah, he
you need to listen to this guy.
Yeah, no,
Well,
he's
my
definitely.
point though is that these guys keep complaining and complaining about the Grammys and about this award show.
Mm-hmm.
You're a billionaire. You have a bunch of rich friends. Start your own. If you think they're not credible,
which they did with
start your own.
The BET Awards, but then
Yeah,
they
but
took
he didn't
over.
ask
Yeah,
for
they took
But
over
that gets so it's Grammys is almost like if you get a Grammy, you could just add 20,000 to your freaking
your resume
to 20,000 a show. Just add it automatically.
Yeah, but if again though, when you don't, if you just keep showing up and accepting the awards and go, he doesn't need extra 20,000 to his shows. He doesn't need it.
No,
He's a billionaire.
but he's a billion, but he's not doing it for himself. He's doing it for the people that's coming after him.
Yeah.
So
They're
if
doing it for the people after
because
him, do something different.
But he's not trying to it's almost like, all right, I know I'm at a level, I'm successful. I don't need this. So just because I don't need it, don't need that I need to speak up on it.
Right.
But I'm gonna speak on it on the stage. They're not gonna listen to Killer Mike, but they'll listen to me because I'm a billionaire.
Right.
So I'm gonna do it on their stage. Literally after his speech, he was using the Grammy as like
Yeah.
he was putting alcohol in it,
Yeah.
drinking out of it,
Yeah,
like it was disrespecting it.
Yeah, but see, to me, that's not getting your point across. That's like you look like you're being gimmicky and stunting and pulling off us.
Then what? It's the same thing our politicians are doing.
Yeah. So
But that's the problem. That's the problem. Everybody's.
I don't think. Why can't we change the whole format of everything instead of creating a totally different? Like, yeah, we have like the award ceremony, and then we have BET Awards, but it's still different.
Because here's the thing: you have the Grammys. The Grammys was made by a particular group of people, and they keep nominating people like themselves to keep running it. So why do this is my biggest pet peeve. Why do people want to be a part of something that does not want you to truly be a part of it? It's okay. It's okay to be like,
I think
we're good. We're gonna be over here.
But that's like saying why you want to be American? Americans don't want you to be America. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
This is an award show. This is
but it's the same premise.
But that's too deep for a non-deep issue. We're talking about a bunch of rich people being big old babies about awards, even though they're freaking rich no matter what.
But it has nothing to do about money. It's about recognition.
Yeah, so
what do you mean? If you know you're the greatest, why does somebody have to tell you?
And that's what he said at the end of his thing. He's like, forget about the Grammys. He's like, keep on pushing. She goes, because eventually, and he used himself as a reference saying, listen, he goes, they're going to end up calling you chairman. They're going to end up calling you a genius. They're going to end up calling you a GOAT. You feel me? And that the whole
I feel like he just likes talking about himself.
I think
I think people just took it the wrong way because guess who had the best album of the year?
Killer Mike.
No, for Beyonce was Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You know, so they feel like he kind of took shots at her.
Everybody does. That girl just be making music, minding her damn business, and everybody hates her for it.
But Berto, to your point, when he's like drinking out of that cup and disrespecting, I do agree. I agree with you. Like the people behind the scenes, the producers, they're gonna be calling him up. Yo, what like you know what I'm saying? So he did it for a reason.
Yeah, he did it for a reason.
Said the stuff,
but they can't say nothing to him because he's in his position.
Right. But he might get a phone call like the next day after that.
I don't think he would because he's Jay-Z now. If he was someone less than that, then we told me he's Jay-Z. And Jay-Z is almost to a point where I don't need your award to give me status at this point.
Right, but I think they would call him to say, what do we need to do to make this better? Because
okay, I'm fine. I'm sorry, I didn't follow you. I think he will. Yeah, because
he has that type of clout.
Yeah, you're saying no, but the NFL did.
Yeah,
the NFL did the same thing. It's to a point where now, why you think Usher, Rihanna, and The Weeknd were the NFL go to show? Because of Jay-Z.
Right.
So it comes to a point where
having that
he even said it. He goes, we're done past kneeling. It's to a point where we have a big. So
there's been no other black people at the Super Bowl.
Not hip hop.
Not hip hop like that. No.
And the first one was last year with the Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
The Dr. Dre and
there would never been
never.
The most.
Can I just say something though? The majority of I'm going off of what I see by the masses. The majority of the people watching the football games complain about the hip hop shows. They don't want to see it. So maybe I'm just saying, maybe just maybe people aren't. It's not that they don't want the hip hop artists. It's when you go online. I mean, I'm literally online sometimes, and they're like, "What the fuck? Like this isn't real music." Da, da, da. Now Usher can sing. He can actually sing, so it's music. But some people genuinely just want to hear good singing.
But those are the people those are the minorities. The people that are liking it are not commenting it because you're just gonna see the negativity. Like since they had what's popular music is hip hop music. That's pop music now. So when you're looking at ever since Jay-Z is and his company is responsible for the halftime show, the views have gone up and up and up and up. You can see these comments on social media, but it doesn't show in the numbers.
Because everyone complains about something. Let's just
Yeah.
So
all
whoever's
day.
singing, someone's
Look
gonna,
at the
someone's gonna
numbers,
be
Joe.
complaining.
Yeah.
Like, and be honest with you, the reason why they brought in Jay-Z because there were complaints about the shows where it was like you're having Coldplay again,
Right.
Yeah.
you're having U2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Play it safe.
To a point where, but that's not popular music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what's happening is where now you're starting to have some artists that have some relevancy with, especially with the younger crowd.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where those are the ones are gonna probably watch for the most part.
Right.
This Super Bowl had over 200 million views, 200, maybe more.
Right. And there was just
The most of ever.
and
Yeah,
some
the
people,
majority
some
of
people got on
so-
just for the Usher show.
Right. 100%.
I don't know.
But
I
that's
think a lot of people
but Taylor
really go
Swift
to
is
Taylor-
young.
Yeah, but she's
Not in the Super Bowl. Nah.
she's
There was a thing-
literally changing the economy to millions.
Yo,
wherever
that
she
that
goes.
Super Bowl was like everybody was saying to give the Super Bowl is a Usher concert with a game around it.
Yeah, because
Everyone was saying
looking
that.
For,
Everybody
forward
looking for
Usher.
Usher.
Yep.
Usher.
I've heard
Usher.
a lot more
even my
disappointments than
lady
things
that don't
about
watch football like that. Her and her daughter
They
wanted to
want
watch
waiting for
Usher.
Usher,
You know what I'm
yo.
saying? So
Usher.
they watched the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
I guess I'm just hearing a lot of negative. I heard a
'Cause
lot
of
of people
Usher.
not happy with
Yeah,
that show.
yeah.
For them, they normally don't sit around and watch the game.
Yeah.
But for them to watch the whole game just for Usher at
Yeah.
halftime. Well, it was that's it. They only watched the first and second quarter, the
Yeah,
halftime.
yeah. And then,
and they-
yo, listen, I was at one of
Usher.
my friends' house. They watched the game. They with my friends, and they had their girlfriends and their wives there. Soon as Usher was done, all the females left.
Right, that's what I said. That's it.
All the females.
I'm out of
I
here.
didn't watch it at all.
All right, let's end this show right here.
Is this the end? I gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta know. Is this the end?
Yes, this is the end of the Frequency Live show. It was a very long show because we had amazing guests in the beginning, so we had to run longer than usual. But I'm sure you appreciate it for the listeners that were watching, the listeners and the watchers and the listeners and watchers that will watch after this live air. I don't know. Guys, what do you think about this show? What's the final thoughts?
No, it was good, man. I liked it. Definitely did.
I thought it was great. I thought Jimmy was a great guest.
Yeah.
Thought
Yeah,
he
that
was
was-
informative about the Patriots and what he did and what they do, like going
Right,
through their
right.
championship runs. And I think it's a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So it was good to have him on.
Yeah.
Jimmy called me a kid twice. I'm the young one of the bunch, and it's recognized. So
Jasmine's but I learned my final thoughts is Jasmine's a savage, yo. Yo, don't mess with Jasmine because she will kill you.
all right.
Yo,
Oh no.
yo, she will kill you.
If I have
Yeah,
to.
no, you don't clean it up now. Like literally, I try to give you a chance to kill it. I mean, to kill it.
Apparently, I'm going to regardless.
Yo, Jasmine will kill you. So just leave her alone. My final thoughts is basically that. But it was a great interview with Jimmy D. To really understand what goes into an organization like the Patriots or any professional team where it's a 24/7, 7 days a week type of job. And to know that people that's in the surrounding area is an intricate part of the Patriots' success is very inspiring. There's a lot of talent here, and we got to we got to appreciate that and use that to our advantage to uplift this community and celebrate them.
Awesome.
So
yes, sir.
So we'll be back. We might be back next week. I will not be here because it's none of y'all business, but I will be. But we're gonna now. Football's over. I think that Frequency Live is gonna rule Sundays. That's in my opinion.
Yes.
And we'll have many guests like Jimmy D, and we're gonna have many discussions like we have. I want to thank our program director Edmund Ray for handling stuff behind the scenes.
Thanks, Edmund.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, my dog. We are the Frequency Live on WNB1 Radio. Download the app and go check out the website WNB1.com. I want to thank my co-host Broadway Joe, Jasmine, Double D, and our program to the Edmund. We'll be back next week. Y'all listen to Frequency Live on WNB1 Radio. I'm gonna end it with a Usher song
Yeah.
because we're celebrating Usher. And this is my favorite song on his album. It's called One of Them Ones. And it's deep. It's deep. And
That's the name of it?
Play the damn song.
Is that the name?
no, it's called One of Them Ones.
Oh.
And it's a deep song.
Oh,
You know, it has some good context to it.
Play it.
You know, we're going to play it. Listen on the
Peace, y'all.
WMB1 app or WMB1.com. And we'll be back next week. Have a good night. Thanks for listening and watching.